Hello everyone, and welcome to yet another day of NGS. My name's Tokibi, and today we're going to have the best of 5 for Division A between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. Now, we've already had the map bans come through, and we have Battlefield of Eternity and Cursed Hollow banned out from Gambit Gaming. And then on the other side of it, we have Brax's Holdout and Garden of Terror getting banned out from Magnitude Epicenter. And then Gambit Gaming takes first pick. So the first map pick is Magnitude Epicenters. And the map is Tomb of the Spider Queen. So it is one of those shorter maps. It is one of those maps where you can definitely snowball a little bit. As we are already in draft number 1. So now both of these two teams, while they are in playoffs, Gambit Gaming is the 2nd seed and Magnitude Epicenter is the 7th seed. And on top of that, there's a very sizable point differential between the two. So not to mince words, but Gambit Gaming is at 30 points. Magnitude Epicenter is at 17. So this is a little bit of an uphill battle coming out for Magnitude Epicenter. They're going to have to play well. They're going to have to pull out something that Gambit Gaming isn't used to, or just really showcase how they've been able to improve throughout the season and see if they're able to bring that over into the end of all of this. Now, the first few bans are coming through on both sides, just kind of banning out the healers. Gambit Gaming has banned out the Stukov, and Magnitude Epicenter has banned out the Anduin. So going to be very interesting to see where they go with this. Tomb of the Spider Queen, lots of good bans available. Junkrat, I assume. Pretty much most teams will be able to play Junkrat over at the Div A and higher. At least that's what I'd kind of expect from the flexes. Hanzo should still be a good ban. Pretty much anyone that can prevent the cap from coming in, from turning in those gems. And Okromi is going to be a pretty solid ban for that reason as well. The Dragon's Breath has such long range. And the Lucio going to get banned out as well. So they do still have a lot of those poke heroes available. Whether it's the Hanzo, I was going to mention Joanna later on, but I was talking more about the Junkrat and the Hanzo. Now, Joanna is a very solid pick here as well. I mean, like I always say, Joanna, good tank. Nothing else to say about it. But specifically on this map, she's able to really poke people off of the objective with her shield blinding thing. So, like, with her E, she's able to kind of keep people from capping from a pretty long distance. And it's very annoying because there's really not too much counterplay unless you have a lot of, unless you have a huge numbers advantage. And now Nubarak and Cassia also going to get locked in for Magnitude Epicenter. So kind of already showing a little bit of the style that they do want to play. Nubarak very good at team fighting and then removing one problem child from the fight with that Cocoon. And I expect it will be the Cocoon. The other ultimate's pretty much never taken. I'd say there's a very, very, very niche case where it's even. So I would be surprised to see the other ultimate taken on a Nubarak. As Vala and Brightwing going to get locked in by Gambit Gaming. Vala standard DPS, very good overall, and Brightwing a little bit strange to see on Tomb of the Spider Queen, but it's very good into magic damage. And Cassia with the Lightning Fury does deal a decent amount of magic damage. And on top of that, typically all teams are going to have a little bit of it, so never hurts to have the extra spell armor. And now on top of all that, the phase shift is going to be useful for the offlane as 2 very quick bans come out, getting rid of Leoric and the Stitches. So Blaze going to get locked in immediately by MDC. That's definitely going to be going into the offlane. And especially with Leoric gone, it's going to be a little bit of a tank differential coming out through the offlane. The front line is going to be a bit better for Magnitude Epicenter. And MDC especially is going to be able to like really help out a lot with that. The push is still very strong. I'd even argue it's a little bit stronger when it comes to just wave clear now that the auto attacks have been buffed. I believe they did nerf the Stimpak talent for level 1. But I still also believe that is the choice. As Kel'Thas and Yrel going to be locked in. So I said there was going to be a little bit less of a little bit of a tank differential in the offlane, but Yrel is nothing if not tanky. So very strong pick there. And I also kind of leapt over it, but Tassadar also a very solid pickup for Magnitude Epicenter. Obviously, Krizzle on the Brightwing is going to be able to give out a little bit of that spell armor to counter a little bit of the damage. But very solid poke hero, able to keep people from turning in. And the final pick, Whitemane. So very different healer coming out this game than we've kind of seen in the meta. I know Whitemane has gotten a lot better since the updates, or at the very least has definitely broken through in terms of popularity. And it's very rare where the Rhaegar just goes completely through. I'm looking at these two drafts, and I don't think I favor either draft over the other. I think we have a very even draft. Both teams kind of drafting pretty standard in terms of composition, so we're just going to have to see who's able to play it better as we head into map number 1. Alright, and we are in map number 1 between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. So it's going to be very interesting to see which of these two teams is going to be able to come out on top. So far, it seems like a pretty standard start. MDC is kind of hovering over towards the bot lane, so might not be grouping with the team immediately. But it does look like it's going to be all 5 from Gambit Gaming going straight down into the mid lane, trying to get that mid lane priority. But this is a very small map, so when it comes to rotating across the different lanes, it is very simple, even just using the mount or the phase shift coming out of Krizo. Now they're all grouping. Northern Touch able to get the top side brush immediately, so they're going to have the mid priority, the mid pressure. Lionhouse able to scout out from the bot side. Able to see MDC, but no play is going to be coming through with that. Now for the usual heroes that go on to different talents, as we do see a little bit of an engage coming out, but nothing's going to really come through seriously. It is going to be Krita the Hunter coming out from the Vala, building out that auto attack build, and Lightning Fury build coming out from the Cassia. Now both teams are going to be bringing their core 4 up to the top lane, then rotating through to the mid lane. Northern Touch just kind of trying to get everyone dismounted and able to get the Condemn in it too, and so much damage coming out from Delta Sniper as well. Now Lionhouse jumps in, making it a 5v4 for a little bit, but MDC's here, gonna get the jet propulsion, landing over onto the tank as well, but it is the Joanna, so very difficult to get enough DPS. Now McGiblets and Polite Gamer both taken quite low during that exchange, but no one's going to go down quite yet. Now Northern Touch gonna land the Condemn over on a Delta Sniper. Kind of gets blocked off by the wall, as Delta Sniper is landing a lot of those shock rays over through to the top. And they're going to be able to get the push over in the top lane as the Bruiser Camp is started by Gambit Gaming. So they are going to be a little bit behind on the side of Magnitude Epicenter. But Gambit Gaming will be able to soak everything up from mid and top, just because you really only need one member on this map to go between the two lanes to be able to get max soak. So the Bruiser Camp does go down for Gambit Gaming as Magnitude Epicenter start theirs. Can they get anything with this push? And Northern Touch going to get a Condemn on it too. Trying to slow Delta Sniper, but not going to be able to quite yet. As MTC is just trying to help out with clearing this Bruiser Camp. While theirs is still getting finished off at about a third HP left. Condemn going to land on it too. And Polite Gamer actually gets very low. Able to get the Impale onto Persimmon, but Pearl Simon, I should say. Sorry, I was misreading that a little bit. And now they're able to get a ton of pressure here just with that Bruiser Camp. They're finally able to clear it out on the side of Magnitude Epicenter, but the tempo play is definitely worked out for Gambit Gaming. They're going to take down this entire wall, and I always say this when you get that main objective, when you get that first turn in the first set of Web Weavers. If you get any one set of walls from the first turn-in, that is a successful turn-in, because the objective is not strong at the start of the game. As MDC and Lionhouse going to be fighting over the siege camp, but Lionhouse has a pretty severe health advantage and will be able to steal it away just using that Hammer of Justice. And now Northern Touch gonna get hit by the shock ray, but not quite. Polite Gamer's getting very low, but is going to be getting killed. Now Pearl Simon gonna go in, but not going to have enough follow-up to take down Polite Gamer. So we're already seeing a half-level lead coming out from Gambit Gaming just from superior laning and macro so far. And no one's gone down yet. Sexy Vegans gets the blind on it too. They're able to get a lot of damage over on the Pearl Simon. Pearl Simon getting low. Same with Grizzle. Grizzle just one more shot and first blood is going to go over to Magnitude Epicenter. But now Polite Gamer trying to run away. Has the bomb on it. But in the meanwhile, Sexy Vegan gets a double kill over onto the Vala. Trying to get away, but with the wall there. And just like that, the lead has been nullified. The double kill landing over for Magnitude Epicenter. And they were able to steal away some of those gems, which is always big in terms of just slowing down the pacing of the other team. It will never negatively affect them for getting those kills, so another 3 gems going to be turned in by Magnitude Epicenter. Both sides now have enough for those web weavers. The question now is who can get the priority in order to get that turn in first. Now they are going to have the force wall, but just going to be covered by Northern Touch. So they're not able to get that turn in quite yet. Now, we do see Lionhouse going to be handing in, but it's just going to be 9, so not enough for the spawn. But McGiblets was trying to get those 20 down through the bot side, but not going to be able to. Sexy Vegan's trying to poke Northern Touch away, and this is kind of the power of that Joanna that I was telling you about. Oh, but he's blocked into the wall, so we'll be okay, but that could have been very scary. No follow-up was available to start that, as the Blinding Shield is going to be coming through, and now so many gems turned in by both sides. 31 on Gambit, 25 on Magnitude Epicenter. And that's really going to be the next point of contention as both sides are getting very close to getting that final bit of turn in. And MDC is going to start getting poked away. McGibble's going to get hit by the Impale, but doesn't seem like there's going to be any follow-up quite yet. There is a turn in happening from Delta Sniper. Doesn't look like that's going to be interrupted. So first set of Web Weavers is going to be coming through for Magnitude Epicenter. Play Gamer going to take a decent amount of poke from Pearl Simon and from McGiblets, but at the end of the day with the healer, not going to be worried about it too much, so should be a nice push-in coming through for Magnitude Epicenter. And they're going to get the mid lane shoved in and then immediately go top. And one of the benefits of having that Cassie with a Lightning Fury is taking those walls is super easy with the Lightning Fury. Able to hit onto all 3 points usually, but the gate has already been taken down. And the Shock Ray dealing so much damage to Northern Touch. The Condemn is going to land onto Mac Daddy-O, but not going to have any kind of follow-up for that. And as they do try to push it out, looks like they're just going to let the Web Weaver go down and kind of start grouping towards the mid lane. Able to get the Impale onto the Joanna. Northern Touch, sorry, is trying to push through and will be able to with that Iron Skin. Only really taking about a quarter health worth of damage, but they did lose most of their walls. So MDC just going to finish off the last bit there. Going to let it burn. And that right there, that's the nerf coming out from Blaze. Has to use the second spell, but there is a fight breaking out in mid. Play Gamer gonna get taken down. Once again, a half HP, but they're not able to go any further. The Lionhouse is coming through to the side. Is still mounted up, so the Condemn does land. Both dismounted as McGiblets is going to turn in their set of Web Weavers. So what can they get back? Heroic abilities are now up for both teams, but one potential difference is this Bruiser Camp is currently available. So if they're able to get this, pushing in with their camp, it could be pretty big for them. But unfortunately, because of the pressure, they need to send many to go take down the Bruiser Camp in order to have the timing correct to push on with this Web Weavers. So they're going to lose a decent bit more health over on that mid lane fort. But now, the real question still is how much can they get out of this right now? Northern Touch is going to be able to get the Condemned over onto Play Gamer. And Play Gamer is just getting pushed into the wall, but still has that burrow charge to get over the wall. Will be okay, as they're struggling to clear out all of this stuff. The Web Weavers and the Bruiser Camp just dealing so much damage right now. Sexy Vegan able to clear out a lot of it. Same with Delta Sniper, and that is one of the main strengths of having that Tassadar. Has insane clear. Same with Blaze. So now both teams are going over to the top side. It is the last Web Weaver left, and looks like they will be able to take down the mid and top wall, but not going to get anything else afterwards. A little bit of a charge towards the fort, but that is it. Now both sides already have enough gems to spawn a second set of Web Weavers. And now this is where the real fights start coming out, because that second set, that's where you start taking objectives. That's where you start taking buildings. And once you get that building advantage, it makes it so much easier to retain superiority over on this objective. Now McGiblet is just immediately trying to turn in, but they're able to get the polymorph and Polite Gamer got a bro charge away, but still taking down around a quarter HP. In the meanwhile, Magnitude Epicenter were able to finish off the Bruiser Camp, so they're going to have that little push in mid. But Northern Touch was also able to turn in 21 gems, which is definitely going to be a sizable advantage. Polite Gamer now trying to turn in the 25, but will get interrupted. And the Impale lands, and now the Urel lightning ball lightning going through. But should be okay. Has that ultimate running through. They do have the Cocoon over onto Northern Touch. But how much can they get out of it? Black Hole isn't just going to go between everyone. The Condemn lands onto so many. And in the backline, Pearl Simon going to get blanked out. And now Sexy Vegan is getting hit as well. And look at that damage coming out of the Kel'Thas. No one is going to go down, but both sides really dishing it out. But even if they weren't able to get any kills, Magnitude Epicenter, they were able to get the priority over onto the Web Weavers. So they're going to be able to get this first turn-in. Or the second turn-in, sorry, going in for them. And that's kind of their victory from the fight. They do have a town advantage for now. Only going to last for a couple seconds as just a couple more minions need to go down. And there we go. Level 13 is now up for Gambit Gaming. They were able to get even more poked down over onto this mid lane fort. I'd be very surprised if this mid lane fort does survive. And in the top side, the Web Weaver is already spawned and is already pushing onto that tower. And as I say that, the mid lane Web Weaver is going to go down immediately, but I don't think it's enough to protect the fort, because I think even just this one wave is going to be able to do a lot. Polite Gamer just kind of trying to keep the defense from getting onto the Web Weaver too soon. And they are getting a ton of damage over on this top lane fort as well. Mid lane fort just went down. Condemn going to be utilized. Able to get the Cyclone over on a Polite Gamer, but no follow-up. As the auto attacks are coming through from Pearl Simon, already at 114 stacks. Does have the one death, though, and it is a Gambit talent for Gambit Gaming, so we'll lose a little bit of that advantage. 5% attack speed with every death coming out for Pearl Simon. But now the fight's starting to break through. They're able to get the Blessed Shield onto 2, and the Condemn lands onto 3. Scarlet Aegis does come through in the black hole over to Quizzle. They're able to get Quizzle first. Pearl Simon was in the cocoon the entire time, so no damage was able to come out during the team fight. And now Polite Gamer is looking for more, but they are going to continue playing slow, and very well played by Magnitude Epicenter. And that was entirely due to target selection. Polite Gamer able to land the cocoon over onto Pearl Simon's Vala. And once the Vala is taken out of play, like, there's not enough DPS. Kel'Thas does a lot of damage, McGiblets, but once the spells are cast, that's it. And that's exactly what we saw happen in that fight. Remove the DPS, kill the healer, and that's how you win these team fights. It's going to get a little bit harder once everyone gets tankier, especially Northern Touch able to stand in the front longer as the Condemn lands over on a 3. And now Linehouse is going in as well. Going to start throwing people off to the wall. MacDaddy taking so much damage, just trying to get away, and that's their healer slowly getting run down. The Condemn as well, but they're dealing so much damage in the meanwhile. They're going to land the ultimate coming out from Linehouse. Northern Touch starting to get low. MDC is now part of this fight. Able to get the jet propulsion. Ball lightning still crashing through. And now Northern Touch is going to be still alive. Scarlet Aegis comes out on the back line just to make sure everyone is healthy. But that is going to be a 1-4-0. Linehouse going to get taken down. And Magnitude Epicenter. Very close fights every single time. But they're constantly able to win away those little leads that they need. And it looks like they're going to go straight to the boss for this. And they definitely have the map advantage in order to be able to complete this. Already at half HP, doesn't look like anyone on the side of Gambit Gaming want to contest it. It is a short respawn timer, but they decided they're down a talent. They don't want to force another fight. They'd rather just defend against the boss. Now, the negative part for Magnitude Epicenter is they're not going to be able to pair this with the turn-in. And although, as I say that, they do have enough gems. Now, do they want to spend the time turning it in? Delta Sniper needs to go now, but they're not going to be able to combo in with it, but they are going to be able to get both. The boss is still going to deal a lot of damage, and we're even seeing Magnitude Epicenter are trying to group over top to try and push in with this boss. It's going to be a little bit difficult just because the boss is already taking down a half HP as the Condemn lands on a 2, and Delta Sniper takes a lot of damage. I slowly need to learn all of these different ability names. Living Bomb, that's the main one that we're going to be talking about, so they're going to be able to take down this topside wall and even get a little bit of damage over onto this fort. And that was just with the boss. There's still the Web Weaver to come out. Lightning Fury build already at 50 stacks on the Thunderstrike. And 144 stacks coming out from Pearl Simon. So lots of damage coming out from both sides. Both these sides stacking really well. Now Sexy Vegan going to get a lot of damage done with these lightning strikes. And Linehouse able to pull him into the backline. And that's a healer gone. The black hole is over top. Linehouse is going to be absorbing all the damage right now. Northern Touch taking so much damage from the ball lightning. And the... ooh, sorry. And now Sexy Vegan is going to be running on to Pearl Simon. Northern Touch trying to go in the front for the condemn. And Bro Charge just going to go between everyone. And Polite Gamer is going to go down. And Sexy Vegan, run! It's coming! It's coming! And unfortunately, Cassia will go down. Sexy Vegan, you cannot outrun the Pyro Blast. It is too fast. It deals too much damage. But they were still able to get the mid lane during all of that, because even though the team fight did break out, the Web Weavers were still pushing in on all of those lanes. So they got the top keep taken down quite low, and they even finished off the mid lane keep during that. Now the bot lane, they were able to take down the wall, not going to have any damage dealt, but that's still a very valuable Web Weaver. So even though they did lose the fight afterwards, they were able to get so much out of it. But now it's going to be answered by Gambit Gaming. They're going to be able to get their blue Web Weavers. And that's really the main part of winning that fight, is that they're able to get a little bit of priority back, and they're going to be able to get at least some of these buildings, because getting pushed in is very rough in this game. And now Ardent Defender still not available for Linehouse, as just going to be dealing damage between the two. And they got the root onto McGiblets. Not going to be able to follow it up quite yet. MDC is pushing out to the top side, so Linehouse would be able to rotate faster as Northern Touch goes for the condemn. And look at the damage dealt over onto Delta Sniper. Black Hole gonna be thrown out immediately just to prevent any kind of follow-up. Mac Daddio is quite low. Northern Touch gonna get hit by the shock ray. Oh, but the DPS coming out from McGillis is just too high. The living bomb not gonna be landing quite onto everyone. The Web Weaver will go down. The top one has already been cleared out. Oh, but they're able to get the Blessed Shield, and Mac Daddio is going to go down. And that's the white man gone. That's a healer gone. So they're going to be able to continue this push, even though they no longer have the Web Weaver. They're going to be able to just push in with a little bit of a siege minions they have and just the regular wave. And they are going to get poked down a decent amount by Delta Sniper, but at the same time, McGiblets is dealing so much DPS over the wall as well. They are going to back out now, but they have enough for another turn-in. And that's really where the excitement comes through. As I am slowly trying to learn all the abilities. I do not see a lot of Urels and Kel'Thas in most of my casts, so do bear with me, as it will trip me up a little bit during the team fights, but I am slowly learning and doing my best here. But now Northern Touch going to be walking forward, trying to get some kind of priority over in this mid lane, because that's definitely the lane they would want to get most of the push in, mid and top. There's still this fort available that should be pretty easy for the side of Gambit Gaming to take, as both sides ding level 20. And now, just like that, they're going to be able to remove the entire cannon creep. Dies very quickly. Does do a lot of damage, so having any kind of those catapult damages coming through onto the Web Weaver itself will help out with the push a little bit. And I am curious about these lane assignments. MDC is now grouping with a team over into the forecourt, as Polite Gamer is trying to push out that topside Web Weaver. Linehouse is still going to match over on that top side, but that is really it. Shockray dealing so much damage. And now they're looking for the fight. Crizzle is going to be able to use that blink heal just to get on top of Pearl Simon. As the Web Weaver still a little bit left over in the spot side, should get finished off quickly. And the top wall is taking so much damage. Very large wave of minions there. But overall, all their keeps are going to stay alive. It is very close in terms of map pressure. However, Magnitude Epicenter does have the slight advantage with the keep down. But Gambit Gaming has the better lane dominance right now, just through where the waves are currently at. Having that double push is always incredibly beneficial to get. They're kind of able to nullify the map advantage the Magnitude Epicenter did have. MDC is going to turn in 30 more gems, but they don't have enough for a spawn quite yet. They're starting to get close, as the Siege Camp and the Bruiser Camp are going to get finished off by Gambit Gaming. There's one more camp left on the map, and that's the Boss Camp, available right now for both teams. But I don't think either team really wants to go for it. However, with so many showing over in the bot lane, they may try to rush this out. Linehouse runs immediately to it, but just kind of running towards it. And Pearl Simon does start onto this boss. So their bot lane is now going to be even. They do need to clear out this bruiser camp if they want evens towards mid. But it does look like Gambit Gaming is just going to back out. They saw that Magnitude Epicenter was starting to run out more towards the top side. And they didn't want to deal with it, as everyone is turning in their gems, except for Pearl Simon, who is currently sitting at 23. So 29 to 30 in terms of turned in gems so far. Neither side has enough. Jet Propulsion is going to land off to the side. The Cyclone isn't going to land onto MDC. As Linehouse just kind of looking for an angle to knock people back with that righteous hammer. And a lot of poke just coming back and forth. And unfortunately for Magnitude Epicenter, this is the worst lane for them to try and fight in, because this is the lane where they would be able to get that natural push. Their other lanes are kind of even, and Linehouse has been cleaning up the lanes pretty well for the side of Gambit Gaming. So a little bit of a slow period in the game as Pearl Simon and McGiblets going to turn in some more gems. 54 now. So they are very close to having enough to get that turn in happening and getting that next set of Web Weavers. And it could really come down to who's able to get that next set of Web Weavers, because right now, every single wall is pretty much destroyed. Especially for the side of Gambit Gaming, guys. Play Gamer is going to be able to secure another 22. So they just need 13 more. Northern Touch not going to let Sexy Vegan get the turn in. But they are going to get it from the bot side due to Linehouse had more than enough. So that is going to be the next push. It is very close. It was very close. I thought actually Magnitude Epicenter got it. But the Web Weavers are going to be spawning in for Gambit Gaming. And this is going to be a very strong opportunity for them to really bring the map fully into their favor. Now Linehouse is just jumping in, able to get so much damage taken down onto Linehouse, able to get the wave pushed in, but it is the URL going to be able to easily heal up, going to easily be able to just tank all of that. Ooh, as Northern Touch taking a third of the HP from one shock ray, so Delta Sniper very threatening right now. And Northern Touch, once again, just getting dealt so much DPS. It's actually crazy how much Delta Sniper is able to do it. Living Bomb isn't going to be spreading, but is going to be dealing a lot of damage. They have been able to clear it out, but they do need to start dealing with all the other waves. And they're just going to be abusing that. Gambit Gaming just going to be bringing in all 5 to try and force down this bot side keep. And now Pearl Simon taken down to such low HP. The Flame Strike not going to land on too many people. And the damage that was dealt is going to get healed up. And now the Flame Strike lands on it too. Linehouse looking for an opportunity. Righteous Hammer. Gonna land, but not too much happening. Cyclone going to go into Sexy Vegan and taking down solo. But Pearl Simon does get caught and going to go down to the shock ray. And now, in the meanwhile, they do have the black hole just to prevent any kind of follow-up. And it was a 4v5 in terms of map positioning, and they were able to get the kill. Magnitude Epicenter. They lost their top keep. Yes, that's not good. Their bot keep. Don't sneeze around it. It will keel over. However, they're going to be able to get the turn in, and depending on what they want to do, they could even attempt to go for the boss here. And it does look like they want to start it and get the turn in at the same time. Sexy Vegan gonna be able to get the turn in immediately, and now they're starting onto the boss. But the side of Gambit Gaming, they know they're on the boss. They can see that the icon is still there. So they're gonna go for potentially the end of the game here. And yeah, they're starting to push over to this core. They don't have any minions, so they're gonna have to tank this. Are they sending anyone back? Yes, they are. MDC is already back, and they're going to have the Tassador coming back as well. So not going to be able to get the back door, but they definitely are going to be able to slow down this boss take, as the boss does get finished off. Linehouse taken down to around half HP. It is going to be very disruptive, and I think that it was the best way they could try defending against that. They knew they didn't have the numbers, so ultimately, I don't even think either of these is really going to end up accomplishing too much. I think that the boss is going to be able to take down this topside core, but unless the entire team is able to group together, and it does look like they are going to start grouping over to this topside now, there's not too much pressure coming out through for Magnitude Epicenter. They are looking for potentially the end. It's always possible once you get this late into the game. We are at 24 minutes now, and the boss is going to be pushed in. The mid lane Web Weaver has been taken down, and they're able to get the Cocoon onto the Joanna, and they're just looking for the play. But look at that barrel charge on the 2. Grizzo taking down solo, but will survive. Scarlet Angels coming out through over top, and they were able to get the KT. Ball lighting is going through, and now like everyone is at such low HP. Everyone's inside the bunker. The Ardent Sensor comes out, but it doesn't matter if you survive, Linehouse, because your core is going down. Linehouse also going to go down, and game number 1 is going to go to Magnitude Epicenter as they lead 1-0. And I gotta say, Gambit Gaming put up a really good fight, but the amount of DPS coming out from Delta Sniper this game, just look at that. 103,000 damage. There's a Cassie in the game. There's a KT in the game. There's a Vala in this game. And you're 40k more damage than anyone else? That is insane. Delta Sniper played extremely well. And they were able to get a huge pick over on a Pro Simon. And really, the wall to block Pro Simon from the rest of the squad, and then the Shockray over top, that's what won them that fight, which won them the boss, which ultimately won them the game. I mean, not to disparage any of the other teammates, I think both sides played really well, and I'm hoping that this is going to continue to be such a close series. So GG's to both sides, and we're going to go to a short break, and when we come back, it's going to be game number 2. Don't go anywhere. Alright. We are here for map number 2. Like the Punisher just said, we are going to be going over to the Infernal Shrines. So, another similar map in terms of there needing to be a lot of fighting happening over the objective. And this is a bit of a slower objective to take. So, the main meta picks, I guess, for Infernal Shrines is going to be that Hogger, primarily. I think Hogger is very strong on this map. And then anyone that is able to deal a lot of long range AoE clear, or even just AoE clear in general. So even something like the Gul'dan could be good here. I would expect to see a Chromie ban coming out from Gambit Gaming. If they banned it in game number 1, I think it's even more powerful over on this map. So, and then as per usual, Junkrat Hanzo, just good every single game. But at the same time, both are able to be played against. So it really depends on how you what they decide to play with their strategy. So similar start, both sides banning out the healers. Stukov and Anduin going to be getting banned out by both sides respectively. As we are going to see the Junkrat is going to get banned out by Magnitude Epicenter. But one thing I have noticed is the first pick is actually going to be going over towards Magnitude Epicenter this time around. So this could change a little bit about the draft, because Joanna is still very strong on this map. Could still be a very solid pick coming out from Magnitude Epicenter. Now, does Gambit Gaming want to remove that from the pool? I would suspect the Chromie will get banned out, but no, they're actually going to go for neither, and we'll take out the Hogger. Hogger is very good on this map. Hogger, I think, overall is a pretty solid offlane pick, but especially on Infernal Shrines, that Hogwild goes wild onto the little skeletons around the shrines. Now, Play Gamer is going to lock in that Anubarak, so going to be running it back. Very solid tank, and they were able to get a lot of very solid cocoons. That first team fight that they were able to win by cocooning up Pearl Simon and then just running down Krizo, I think was a very well solidified and well planned team fight from Magnitude Epicenter. They were able to kind of snowball it from there. And now they're going to have the double beefcakes coming out from Gambit Gaming. Joanna and Blaze going to get locked in. So the front line's already apparent. Could still be double Bruiser, as Janitor Leoric is going to be coming out. Thank you very much, Janitor Leoric, for keeping this game afloat. Huge shout out. And then Cassia going to get locked in again for Sexy Vegan. And I will say the Ball Lightnings, normally I do see the Valkyrie, especially once we start getting into these higher divisions. But the Ball Lightning was constantly bouncing between the members of Gambit Gaming last game. And if they do want to go with that triple bruiser composition, it is very likely that that'll be happening again. However, at the same time, Cassia isn't very good at being able to take down the frontliners, as well as another DPS like Zul'jin, Vala, etc. Whitemane going to get banned away by Gambit Gaming, so not going to be able to run it back again for Macdadio. But the Scarlet Aegis was able to bring out very clutch armor and heals throughout those team fights. It was a little bit counterintuitive because the Kelthus does have that living bomb, and being able to kind of force them to group together definitely did not help out Magnitude Epicenter, but they were still able to win out the team fights just due to the Tassadar coming out of Delta Sniper. Now Mephisto is going to get banned out by Magnitude Epicenter. We are still waiting for DPS to come out from Gambit Gaming. At the very least, I think they will have one. Cassia is a bit of a carry that focuses on blinding. Vala is still available if they want to run it back, and I don't think it'd be bad. But they're going to go with a Sylvanas and Rhaegar instead. So I was surprised a little bit that Rhaegar fell through the cracks last game, but is going to be locked in this game. And as for the other healers, there's still Lucio available. There is still that Brightwing available. So definitely a couple options available for Magnitude Epicenter. But the question is, what else do they want? I think they should go a second DPS. Cassia is not a very good solo carry. So the Kelthus is going to get locked in for Delta Sniper this time. And the Kharazim as the healer. Okay. Now, if you thought I didn't know KT's abilities names, let me assure you, I can't name a single one of Kharazim's ability names. So I will be learning as we go. And you know what? That's where half the fun is. But that's a very solid DPS to have into a tank lineup. And it is a healer. And I do expect Magdadio is going to be able to get a lot of heals coming out from that Karazim. But Karazim deals so much damage. And might have even been the answer pick to this double bruiser tank lineup coming out from Gambit Gaming. And I'm kind of wondering, I don't know if this build is even meta right now, but Baby Diva having just the pilot as a DPS could be good this game. KT could one-shot her, but that's just a risk they're going to have to take. And once again, very close draft. I can't call it here, so we're going to have to call it in game number 2.
For battle,
and we are in map number 2, Infernal Shrines, between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. This is a best of 5, so this is not match point yet for Magnitude Epicenter. They do need to win 2 more. But having that first map victory is going to help with their momentum. It is going to help with their mental, and it is going to help a lot with their confidence going into map number 2. Now, I didn't talk too much about our Lord and Savior, Janitor Leoric. However, I do think Leoric on this map is very good. It's very fast at clearing out waves, very fast at clearing out the skeletons, and you could even leave Leoric at the shrines kind of on their own. Now, once again, Gambit Gaming is going to be able to get that mid brush, and it is going to be a different build. It's going to be Charge Strike, so it is a basic attack build coming out from the Cassia. A little bit of a divergence from the norm, at least from the games that I've been seeing. Typically, it is going to be that Lightning Fury build. And, sorry, I was not expecting that damage, but Pearl Simon gonna get killed off in the bot lane. Delta Sniper and Mac Daddy are able to bring out so much damage. And let me just look through these. Breath of Heaven's the heal. Deadly reaches the extra auto attack range. Oh, is Lionhouse also not gonna get taken down? However, it is still the mech, only counts as half a kill. Radiant Dash. Okay, I don't think I'll even be using those ability names, but now Northern Touch is going to get rooted up and cycloned up. Flame Strike as well over top, and Northern Touch does lose the Iron Shield. Burrow Strike going to land over top, and they're just trying to keep the healing down, the slow going, and Northern Touch is going to go down, so that's going to be 2 kills for Magnitude Epicenter. And once again, they're able to have those early game fights going in their favor, and their prize is going to be this bot side siege camp. They already have the push out, they already have the numbers here. And with Sexy Vegan on the basic auto attack damage build, gonna be able to do a lot. However, McGiblets wants to contest this, and it is McGiblets over onto Mac Daddy. And Mac Daddy just gonna get taken down by Pearl Simon, and both teams are just bringing so many members. And now Linehouse is going to get taken down, trying to keep the damage away, but won't even go into Baby Diva form. And Sexy Vegan taking so much damage as well. The wave comes through, and not enough DPS, but the blinding shield going to take down Sexy Vegan from over top, and just like that, 2-2 in kills. But Delta Sniper is going to get followed up. No mana, nowhere to go, and Delta Sniper going to get taken down as well. So scratch that, 3-2. The camp was stolen, and they're going to get a huge chunk of this wall with that very same camp. Mac Daddy-O got picked off so early into this fight, and now the Condemn lands on it too as well. Play Gamer taking down around a quarter HP. Doesn't have the top available. Mac Daddy-O is going to be able to get the heals, but that's the entire bot wall gone. So that's a very good start coming out from Gambit Gaming. It was going well into Magnitude Epicenter's advantage, but they didn't have enough DPS to quickly take out the siege count. And then with McGiblets and Crizzo and Northern Touch just did not have the damage to move everyone away. They're going to be hitting onto their own siege camp, so it is going to be a 1-for-1 trade, just both sides getting their own natural siege camps. As Gambit Gaming starts on their natural bruiser, same with MDC. And in fact, gonna have the group of friends coming up to help. This is a team game after all. Gotta take the camps with your friends. Now Polite Gamer is gonna get jumped on a little bit over in the mid lane. Is low on mana, but both sides are going to be able to start pushing through this mid lane as the first shrine gets spawned out. But KT with that Flame Strike is gonna be able to take down a lot of those skeletons. Northern Touch ready at half HP. Play Gamer just kind of trying to zone away. They're looking for the mid lane pressure from Magnitude Epicenter. And allow me to zoom out a little bit as Jet Propulsion lands over onto this bot side. The Skeleton Race is favoring Gambit Gaming right now. 21-10. So they may need to try and fight as Linehouse gets taken down. Gonna use the self-destruct. And not gonna land onto anyone, but will be able to get a ton of these skeletons. If they're gonna fight, Magnitude Epicenter needs to start the fight now. But it doesn't seem like they're too concerned with it. The living bomb is landing over onto a lot of them. As we do see Linehouse gonna get put into baby form. 33-24. It is starting to catch up a little bit. MDC now part of this fight. And Jet Propulsion lands onto MDC and will go down. MDC not going to be able to survive. And now Sexy Vegan kind of left behind by the team. We'll get the blind on a few. Mac Daddy trying to keep the heals up, but it's not going to be enough. Delta Sniper out of mana. And another kill going over to Gambit Gaming along with the Punisher. Now there was a decent push up top by MDC just with that Bruiser Camp. As the leap is going to get utilized onto Polite Gamer. Not going to be behind the wall, so it's going to be a little bit of an advantage for Magnitude Epicenter. They're going to be able to just freely DPS onto it. But the issue is they don't have any DPS here. Sexy Vegan just respawning now. Going to be grouping up with the team for this Punisher. And Polite Gamer taking down so low. This Punisher dealing so much damage. They're going to be able to get this mid wall. It doesn't seem like they're going to be able to get too much else, but a pretty solid first objective. MDC fighting with Linehouse, and they're also going to use this pressure to take down the spot side siege camp. So very well played by Gambit Gaming as they have almost an entire level lead over Magnitude Epicenter. It is going to get closed down a little bit. There's a decent amount of XP for Sexy Vegan in this mid lane, so but it's still going to be around half a level lead coming out from Gambit Gaming, and they're going to be able to push with the siege camp just a little bit. Impale not going to land onto anything. The Shadow Dagger dealing so much damage. Living Bomb just going to land onto Pearl Simon. Not going to spread to any of the teammates. As the siege camp will get cleared out. But they do have the first move over onto MDC. And MDC was not able to get back to the fort. So Jet Propulsion lands. And bye-bye MDC. Going to be another free pickoff from Gambit Gaming. But they're able to get the Impale onto Pearl Simon. Pearl Simon still alive. And they're able to get the Bro Strike as well. Judy Crizzo is going to be able to heal. Level 10s are out. They have the Heroics. And now they're looking for another kill potentially. Polite Gamer is just trying to run away. Throws down the Impale, but the Condemn will pull him back. MDC has respawned. And now Big Giblets is underneath the tower, so not going to be able to continue on with this fight. And they're dealing so much damage. Big Giblets taking down around half HP. Still no level 10 and over a level lead now because that entire time, Lionhouse has been solo splitting the top side. Takes down the wall and is going to get a ton of damage dealt over onto this fort as well. So Gambit Gaming starting to snowball just a little bit there. And it all came down to the Ancestral Healing that came from Crizzo. The Ancestral Healing was so clutch in that team fight. Could very well have been Magnitude Epicenter's advantage there, but gotta admire the play and gotta utilize the XP advantages when you have them. Even makes that bad play work out when you just have that extra stats and that extra ability. And now both sides are just kind of focusing on pushing in their waves. Both sides are going to have level 10. The next shrine should be spawning soon. And I don't believe there's going to be a town advantage for Gambit Gaming unless the fight takes a long time. As we see, Delta Sniper and Sexy Vegan are going to be getting started over onto their Bruiser camp. And Lionhouse is trying to get more push over in the top side, but won't be able to get much else. As the two tanks, Wet Noodle fight over in the bot lane. Not going to be able to accomplish too much. Now, Pro Simon is trying to push forward. Does have those black arrows if they need them. Now, Mac Daddy does have the 7-sided strike. Very powerful ability when it comes to clearing out tanks. So, the shrine is going to be spawned in 12 seconds. Lionhouse trying to finish off this Bruiser camp, but we'll find the rest of the team instead. They're going to use the Entomb, but it's going to have the self-destruct, so who's stuck there with who? But they're going to be able to blow up Lionhouse. They're going to steal away the Bruiser camp, and now McGiblets is stuck on the wrong side. 7-sided strike dealing so much damage, and the ball lightning coming over to the top as well. Not going to have enough DPS, but the stuns coming through. It is still a kill for Magnitude Epicenter, and the steal over onto the Bruiser camp. One Bruiser camp hitting onto the wall, the other hitting onto the fort. And they will trade their fort for this in the bot side. But I think if you're Magnitude Epicenter, you take that. You were very behind to start onto that play, and you're finally able to close the gap a little bit. They're not going to be able to finish off this top fort, but it is going to be a ton of damage over onto that fort. That's going to be an objective they can take down later by themselves. Namak Daddio is also going to be able to take the siege camp while they finish off the Mortar Punisher. And every Punisher is stronger than the last, so MDC does need to kind of go over top, as Lionhouse and Pearl Simon with the Black Arrows should be able to take down this top fort as well. And strangely enough, the map advantage is going to go over to Gambit Gaming, despite the lost team fight. And now Northern Touch just trying to keep the team away. And the 7-sided strike in the Phoenix. Look at Northern Touch taking down around a quarter HP immediately. So much damage coming out from Magdadio. And I maintain this Kerosene was such a solid draft pick. They're getting so much value in these fights. They're not going to be able to get the tower taken down, or sorry, the fort. They're able to clear out the entire wall and take around half the HP. And now MDC just fighting with Linehouse is going to have the drain life. And is able to get a lot of that HP back. And Linehouse is very low, trying to run away. Polite Gamer is going to be here, not going to be able to get the damage done in time. But will get Linehouse into the baby mech. No self-destruct available. Silence signs on everyone, but the Entomb, MDC, you blocked your own team. Could have been worse, could have been better. They're all going to be able to get away. But Crizzle and Northern Touch were starting to rotate up top. So in a way, it could have been a blessing in disguise. They're still going to be able to get that half kill over onto Linehouse, so that is going to benefit them a little bit. Get that little bit of XP, as Linehouse is taking a decent amount of damage just from the living bomb. But overall, the map push still favoring Magnitude Epicenter. Play Gamer just kind of running past Northern Touch, going over to the bot side, and the question is, where are they going? Play Gamer does look like they were looking to engage onto the camp, but Play Gamer's just going to be stuck a little bit. Now the team is breaking through. The Phoenix lands on everyone. Pearl Simon needs to get in and will be inside the bunker. The Ancestral Healing will heal in time. And they're able to get the Cocoon over onto Northern Touch. But once again, the team fight starts, but no one goes down. Jet Propulsion, a little bit too far away. Mac Daddy and Play Gamer both going to be able to use those fountains, as McGillis and ProSime taking a lot of damage, but TTV Sexy Vegan is going to get stuck, will get taken down. Yes, the twin stream will finish it off, and now Mac Daddio is still alive and is a little bit stuck, but will be able to run away. So that's another 2-0 and another camp steal for Gambit Gaming, and they have the push starting in the mid lane. Linehouse is already here, but they're going to ignore him. They're going to use the black arrows and the wave just to disable this bot side wall. And they already got one of the cannon towers down, going to disable the second cannon tower as they clear through this wall immediately. And they can just let the siege camp do all the pushing for them in the mid lane. It's not going to be able to take down the fort, but it will be able to get a decent amount of poke down. And this bot side keep is taking so much damage as well. The Phoenix going to bully Pearl Simon off of the keep, but that's still almost half HP done to it. Well, not almost half. Let's say a third. I think that's more fair. But yeah, a third of the HP is going to be gone. But they're still able to rotate over towards this mid lane fort. And now they're going to go in. Polite Gamer not going to be able to land the barrel charge. Northern Touch is going to have that shield glare coming through. But neither side is going to be able to get anything else out of it. Level 16 talents are now coming out from Magnitude Epicenter. But as they do finish off this bruiser camp. So no talent advantage. Topside Shrine is now available. But they do need to worry because their bot lane and their mid lane are all going to be pushing back. Northern Touch is taking a little bit of DPS right now, but will be okay. As the top side, the fight is starting to begin, but does have the Iron Skin over on Northern Touch. And they're just continuously chasing. Northern Touch is going to get Burrow Strike. And look at that ball lightning going through in between. The blind as well. Just not enough damage to burst them down. The healer is caught in the cocoon. And Crizzle is going to get stunned with the Impale. They do have the bunker, but the 7-sided strike just deals too much damage. Northern Touch is trying to walk in. Blessed Shield lands on the 3, but where's your DPS? Pearl Simon is still here trying to deal damage over top, but there's just not enough that they can do. And now this Bruiser Camp with Linehouse as well is going to be able to get a ton of pressure over onto this fort. And they're able to zone them away, and this Punisher is also going to be going towards Magnitude Epicenter. However, Pearl Simon immediately sees the push in mid lane, has the black arrows. Delta Sniper is going to be here for the defense, but can Delta Sniper defend this? Will use the Flame Strike, not going to land, but Pearl Simon is just going to run away. So they're going to be able to get a little bit of that pressure coming through in the mid lane. They're going to be able to take that Bruiser Camp to kind of help apply that same mid lane pressure. But they're definitely going to lose this fort, and how much else are they going to be able to get just from this one Punisher? It is. They should be able to clear out this Bruiser camp with relative ease. The Frozen Punisher is quite strong. Look at that, just making short work of that Bruiser camp. But that's still XP going over to Gambit Gaming, so it's definitely still worth taking it down. And on top of that, they're able to like buy a little bit of time before the boss is going to be getting in. The Iron Skin just going to be used to collect the Frozen Punisher. But the real damage is coming out through this mid lane. The Entomb not going to land onto anyone as they deal damage, a little bit of damage over onto this wall. There's one more cannon tower available. And Sexy Vegan is blinded half the time by Northern Touch. Jet Propulsion just used to buy as much time as possible as they're DPSing onto the Frozen Punisher. The Phoenix is going to come out as well, just dealing DPS, just poking and zoning away. But at the end of the day, it's just going to be around a quarter HP dealt over to the keep. They were able to get the wall. And that's going to be a lane where they have the push now. They're going to have the push over in the in the top lane. Their fort is quite low, so if the black arrows are available and they have a little bit of a advantage over in the topside map movement, should be able to finish it off pretty quickly for Gambit Gaming. And now they do have to deal with this wave in this bot side for Magnitude Epicenter. This keep is very low, so they really need to DPS this fast. We'll take just a couple spears, but that's a couple spears less that they will have to take before going down on the next push for Gambit Gaming. As we do have a little bit of a lull in the game. Level 20s are about to come out from Gambit Gaming, and so this could be a very solid power spike for them. Doesn't seem like they really have any lane to try and push through, except maybe the bot side. And I do believe what they're going to try and get right now is just push through bot, try and collect that keep. I don't expect they'll try to go further unless they're able to get a very solid one team fight. But it is a good play. They need to try and utilize this level 20. You only get it once per game, so gotta use the advantage when you get it. And now all 5 members are now grouping bot for Magnitude Epicenter. There is a siege wave coming through for Gamma Gaming in mid. They're gonna get a little bit of poke done onto McGiblets. The Flame Strike not really gonna land on too much. And now they have begun. The Phoenix comes out, same with the Black Arrows, landing on a Pearl Simon. And McGiblets is just going to be taking the entire time. Jet Propulsion does land. MDC going to get blocked off as well. And it does seem like that's all they wanted. They got the keep. They got what they came from. They utilized their advantage to get something. Even if it's not a lot, it is an advantage. And it's the best thing they could have gotten. Now the Entomb does land on Pearl Simon. Going to get waved out. But now they're able to get the Condemn onto 4, and MDC taking down so low, and just like that, they're able to win a little bit of a team fight in mid. They didn't get any kills, but they do have the HP advantage, they do have the push advantage, and they're able to get the mid walled. And they could even continue with this, honestly, because they did have to send Delta Sniper to push out the topside wave. They're able to get the cycle, and look at the damage dealt on Northern Touch. Light Bomb is going to land as well. MDC just trying to heal up with that Drain Touch. So they will lose the wall just due to a little bit of a misstep coming out from Magnitude Epicenter. Level 20s are about to get hit, and they have come through now. So the talent advantage is now fully done for Gambit Gaming. However, they do still have the map advantage for a little bit. They're going to be able to get this bot side siege camp as well. So, and with the main push happening over in the bot side, this could be a moment for them to get the shrine early and maybe try and utilize this map pressure that they have to get the first 15 or 20 skeletons for free. However, it looks like Magnitude Epicenter, they're already ready to contest this. And that Entomb is going to be silencing now, so it is a very powerful ability. As all the skeletons already getting cleared out, and just as expected, they were able to get the first couple of skeletons, about 15, before Magnitude Epicenter could approach. And now the Condemn lands on a 3. Flame Strike not going to go wide. Twin Stream as well. And looks like they were just bullied off of this lane. And now Magnitude Epicenter are going to be able to get the push as well. Now they do have the silence over to Linehouse. Ball Lightning coming through, and they're able to get the self-destruct in time. But look at the damage Linehouse has been dealt. MDC not going to be able to land in time in the back line. But in the middle of the team fight, the Blessed Shield lands on a 3. And look at all the damage happening. Polite Gamer is still alive. 7-sided strike over on Northern Touch. Mac Daddy still alive. 60 Vegan, same with that. But the Anubarak is going to go down. McGiblets trying to go in front, but will be able to take down MDC. Accidental body block. And that's a 2 for nothing. And they don't even seem like they want to kill the Punisher. They just want to go for the game end. But it is going to be hard. Linehouse is dealing with that topside. They did lose their keep in the process. And Mac Daddy able to deal so much damage over onto Northern Touch. And now McDaniel just running in onto Pearl Simon, dealing so much DPS as the healer. Sexy Vegan is going to get pulled back in. Not going to be able to deal too much more with that. So they do have the push coming through now. And they did finish off the Arcane Punisher. McGiblets was able to do that. But MDC is going to be respawning right now. But might be respawning in a bit of a bad position. Does have the Wraithwalk to group back with the team. McGiblets does get caught a little bit. Just going to be taking a little bit of poke damage. Phoenix has been utilized just to help clear out. But the Phoenix has not touched anything. But Northern Touch is able to condemn on a 3. And the Entomb lands, but it's only on a Northern Touch as well. And they're going to use the Entomb. And MDC is going to go down once again. McDaniel trying to deal damage over the backline, chasing down Pearl Simon. Going to use the 7-sided strike right now, but will go down, I expect. McDaniel trying to dash away, but not enough of a dash. And now Jump Propulsion does land on the Polite Gamer. Polite Gamer able to get the Bro Strike on a 2, but with the Cocoon and the bunker coming through, the leap onto Sexy Vegan. And Sexy Vegan's just going to die to the Punisher. Will have mercy on a Sexy Vegan, but it will be game number 2. Is going to Gambit Gaming, and the series is tied 1-1. And just like that, we have ourselves a series. 1-1 is the scoreline, so we're guaranteed at least 2 more games this evening. And once again, game number 2 was really close. And you know what I especially love about these close series? We get more maps, we get more HOTS, and we get to see both of these teams showing off what they do best. And that's their extremely amazing HOTS play. Now we're going to go to yet another short break, but when we come back, it's going to be game number 3 between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. Don't go anywhere. And we are back for game number 3 between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. Map number 3 is going to be that Dragonshire. Definitely the biggest map we've had so far today. And Dragonshire, focus is on Global's abilities such as Falstad, Brightwing, etc. And just power picks into that offlane. Being able to win that 1v1 is so important and so crucial on this map. So I expect picks like Dahaka, who's able to do both, going to be fought over this game. I think Dahaka is just very strong overall as well, especially on Dragonshire. And then other than that, probably stuff like Blaze, Urel. Just characters that are able to fight and trade forever. But now, so far, we are going to see the same bans coming through. Phase 1 has always been and always will be Stukov and Anduin between these two teams. Both very annoying to play against. The Lurk and Arm and that Light Bomb. Very powerful utility spells from both of those healers. Not to mention the Leap of Faith and just the massive amount of heal that both of those healers are able to bring out. Now we do have the second ban coming through, and it is going to be the Blaze this time. So Blaze is 2-0 on the day in this series. So the difference in game number 3 is going to have to be something that is not Blaze. And Magnitude Epicenter are going to ban away that Falstad. Just kind of remove one of the sources of global pressure here. The other two that are still remaining that are typically picked, we have the Dahaka available, and we have the Brightwing for the healer role. Deathwing has been picked on this map before. It isn't like completely meta, so I would be a little bit surprised, but Pearl Simon elects to go for the Vala pick. And that's also the first time Gambit Gaming did not lock in Joanna first, so that is now an option for Magnitude Epicenter. So the Anubrak is still available as well, if Play Gamer wants to play the Anubrak for a third time. But Joanna is a very solid pick, but nope, we'll go for the Anubrak. I mean, it's definitely a comfort pick, and they're definitely able to get a lot of priority picks off of that. And they're going to go tank healer 1-2, which is a very interesting style of drafting. I do think it works for them because Play Gamer seems to love the Anubrak as a blind pick, and Mac Daddy really shows why Whitemane is so powerful. That Scarlet Age is really able to bring out a ton of burst healing for the team during the big team fights. Now, with that being said, Joanna and Dahaka are going to get locked in for Gambit Gaming. I would have been surprised if Northern Touch did not go on the Joanna third time. They seem to both be okay with this tank matchup, Joanna versus Anubrak. Neither side really wants to change up what they're doing. But I do think the Dahaka pick is very powerful. And I would like to see a little bit of a ban coming out from Gambit Gaming towards that offlane, just kind of removing whatever it is that Dahaka doesn't like playing against. I'll be honest, I don't know offlane matchups too well, as the Brightwing going to get banned away from Magnitude Epicenter. So just going to be the Dahaka for global pressure unless something very interesting comes out. Most likely, I would expect to see, I wouldn't expect to see anything like the Abathur. However, it is something interesting. It could be something interesting to bring out that extra global pressure for this game. And now with the Dahaka, it's just going to be the Chromie ban. So they're just going to get rid of the DPSs. They're not going to worry too much about the offlaners. Because I was considering maybe they could do a Sonya ban. Maybe they could do a Leoric ban. I think Dahaka is okay into both. I think the Sonya is a little bit of a kind of a skill matchup, seeing who's able to win that. But Leoric is going to be locked in again for MDC. Once again, the Janitor is going to come through. And once again, the Cassie going to get locked in for Sexy Vegan. But they do have the 10th pick here. And that 10th pick is really what's going to be able to decide for them. What is that? If there's anything they see in terms of a weakness in Gambit Gaming's composition, that's where they can try to utilize it. And even now, the Junkrat is available. I think both of the teams could try and look towards it. It is a bit more of an open map, so not as easy to use it, but McGiblets is going to lock in the Junkrat, and the Rhaegar going to be thrown on a healer. Frankly, I would like to see the Tassadar again. I think that Delta Sniper had an amazing Tassadar. I don't think it's super meta, nor do I think it's like amazing onto Dragonshire. Just because the Black Hole, you can't really get too much use out of it. just because it is a pretty wide open map. But yeah, I think Delta Sniper played it super well, so there's no reason not to lock it in again. And that's basically their first map draft, except they swapped out the Blaze for the Leoric. Very different draft on the side of Gambit Gaming, besides the Joanna. They have the Rhaegar, the Junkrat, the Dahaka. The Rhaegar was played over in map 2, but I think it's really going to depend how much trouble can make Giblets cause. And that's going to be kind of the X factor I'm looking for as we head into game number 3.
Prepare for combat.
All right, and we are on map number 3, the Dragon Shire, between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. 1-1 is the current scoreline. And the drafts are pretty interesting. I'm actually very excited to see Delta Sniper's Tassadar again. Which is really strange because typically whenever I think Tassadar, I don't think excitement. I think just very solid poke to get people out of the way and then just kind of push with it. But Delta Sniper has showed just how hard you can carry on that hero. Now MDC is running over to that top side, so it is going to be a 4v5 in mid lane. And once again, Magnitude Epicenter just kind of giving away the priority. Although this time they're going to get a lot of push down and poke. The drag is going to miss from Linehouse. That's a very solid amount of poke coming through from Magnitude Epicenter, especially with the 4v5. They are playing very far up. Delta Sniper is going to be getting healed up, and that's just kind of showing how much they believe in the healing coming out from MacDaddio and Polite Gamer, knowing the limits of Anubrak very well. Linehouse is starting to roam up top, but MDC is going to be waiting in the bush, just trying to zone away from the big orbs. Now they're going to start grouping over in the spot side. They have been able to get the crash onto the wall, but all of the XP orbs have been collected by Magnitude Epicenter, so no harm, no foul. Now MDC is going to be coming in from behind over towards this mid lane. We'll have to use the Wraith Walk for safety, and that kind of gives Linehouse an opportunity to get the pushing over the top side. But Krizzle is going to get hit by the stun. And now Polite Gamer not going to be able to have any kind of follow-up. Northern Touch is just tanking DPS. And incidentally, it is the Hungering Arrow build coming out from the Vala this time around. So Pearl Simon going to have a little bit more of a poke build. More of a burst build coming out this game. And Polite Gamer is just being a pain over on the Siege Camp. So far up, but knows the limits of that hero. Just kind of trying to delay that push. So the Delta Sniper is able to get the bot wave shoved in. And maybe even a little bit of damage over onto this camp. And now Pearl Simon, once again, going to get another Hungering Arrow. Already out of 7 stacks, but is going to get stunned up. And the Impale lands as well. Blinded and First Blood is going to go over for Magnitude Epicenter. And they do have both shrines in their name right now. Delta Sniper, are you going to be able to get it? Currently channeling. There's no one here to cancel it. And that will be the first Dragon Knight coming out for Magnitude Epicenter. And now MDC just going to be whacking away onto Linehouse. Not too much they can do about it. But in the meanwhile, the Dragon Knight is pushing over in this mid lane. Only Pearl Simon here to try and defend it. And the Siege Camp for Magnitude Epicenter is pushing out this bot lane. And getting this incredibly early Dragon Knight is netting them so much benefit. Doesn't deal a lot of damage, which is kind of the issue of taking it this early. But that's still going to be all the cannon towers gone. And going to be able to walk away to safety. And then meanwhile, MDC is just going to be able to push out this top side. Linehouse is going to be able to get a little bit of trade back, but they lost the mid wall. They lost the bot side wall. That is an incredibly value pick. And now Delta Sniper is here onto Linehouse. They do have the slow. Just need a little bit of damage. And look at the shock rate. The stasis isn't coming out of time. And Linehouse, you're going to go down. MDC going to get another kill for Magnitude Epicenter. And Pelder, I see you in the channel. Thank you very much for attempting to raid. I understand it's hard when you're not the owner of the channel, but I appreciate the thought anyway. For anyone that may or may not be coming over from this channel, we are in game number 3. Gambit Gaming versus Magnitude Epicenter. And every single game so far has been really close. And I expect this game is not going to be any exception either. Both these teams have been able to play super well. As we do see the bot side, Bruiser Camp has been taken away by Gambit Gaming. So they're going to be able to get a little bit of that building pressure back, as level 7s are now hit by both these teams. Just trying to zone away the little bruiser mage away from the wall. But they are going to lose the bottom cannon tower. Northern Touch looking for a possible condemn. Doesn't have too much follow-up. And now Northern Touch might be caught out a little bit. But the Burrow Strike has already been used. Pearl Simon able to dodge away. And look at the DPS coming through. They're all kind of grouped together. The multi-shot dealing so much DPS. And Pearl Simon just auto-attacking for free. Lighthouse able to get the drag over onto the healer. The white mane is gone. And that's going to be a very solid pickoff for them. Polite Gamer is trying to run away. Still has all the abilities on cooldown. But the Burrow Strike will come out in time. Now, does Northern Touch have the condemn? They do. And then we'll be able to get the follow-up drag. Linehouse able to drag one for the kill. Able to drag the second. And just like that, they're tied in kills. MDC will get a little bit back in the top side just due to the Lionhouse's roam. But you will take that any day on the side of Gambit Gaming. They're able to get a lot of pressure back over towards bot side. They did lose their the rest of the wall mid. It was just the gate available, so not that big a deal. But they're going to have the bot side pressure immediately. They're going to even start on their siege camp with the shrine already in their favor early. And while that may not necessarily end up meaning anything, it is still pretty big to have the roam advantage first. They're able to dictate where Magnitude Epicenter go. And they're going to tell them to get back to their lanes and start defending, as the wall does get cleared out a little bit by Pearl Simon. Does have the Hungering Arrow just for the poke. And already at 21 stacks, so pretty decent. More stacks than the Lightning Fury coming out from Sexy Vegan. It is something that will scale, and it's something that they're able to get a decent amount of stacks on as well. But now, the siege camp has been taken down. Magnitude Epicenter are going to start pushing in just a little bit, going to get that initial pressure. They do have both shrines right now for Gambit Gaming, but that's soon will be rectified. As the drag does come out at the top side, MDC does have the Drain Touch currently going to heal back up. And Delta Sniper once again just constantly landing those shock rays. Oh, but they were able to get a kill. Linehouse kills MDC. And that's a very big play for them. And now they do have the Burrow coming through. So it is going to be a very short 5-on-4 for this boss. And the Blessed Shield lands on the 2. MacDaddy going to be taken down. But no, the Ancestral Healing is coming out. And so now everyone is still alive. The ball lightning just crashing onto everyone. Everyone has gotten to 100 HP. No one goes down. And interestingly enough, MDC will respawn and will take back that top shrine. But very solid attempt coming out from Gambit Gaming. Both sides almost able to get pickoffs for themselves. And now this is where the real battle begins. Polite Gamer is already on to this point. Pearl Simon able to dodge away the shock ray. And that's kind of where most of the damage does come through from this Tassadar. Now the wall is just going to be there in the way just to deal a little bit of poke damage. And Pearl Simon just dealing a lot of DPS over the top. As the Concussive Mine isn't going to be able to pull anything away. The Bro Charge does come through from Polite Gamer. Not going to be able to land anything else. And Sexy Vegan is just jumping into Pearl Simon and dealing a ton of damage. Pearl Simon starting to get low, and they're going to have to back up a little bit. Now Northern Touch is also stuck. The Impale will get dodged away, so no follow-up on Northern Touch. That could have been a kill if that landed. And now both shrines are now in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. But can they spare someone to go actually collect this? It would have to be MDC. As Linehouse has reset over the bot side and is in fact going to burrow in here just to get this bot shrine pressure. But once again, the Dragon Knight will go over to Magnitude Epicenter. And they have first move over in this mid lane as well. They're gonna... The Sniper gonna be onto this fort. Gonna knock away Pearl Simon and just prevent as much DPS as possible over on this Dragon Knight. And one nice thing about having the Dragon Knight, Pearl Simon will be able to stack the Hungering Arrow on it. As the Tassadar is kind of left alone. Actually, I think Delta Sniper's in a very bad spot, but very good cleanse coming out from MacDaddy. The Riptire is going to land, but just going to be dealing some poke damage, not too much else. So they will be able to get around half HP of that fort, and that's how much pressure they're able to get off that secondary Dragon Knight. But now the fighting has begun. The siege camp is going to get finished off, so nothing here to fight for anymore for Magnitude Epicenter. As MDC also roamed down, trying to look for 4v5 in their favor. Linehouse was nearby, but was still a little bit behind on the temple play. If they were able to get a pickoff before Linehouse joined in, could have been very big for them. But now they're going to group as 5 over towards the siege camp. And now the shock ray is dealing a lot of damage on the backline. And Mick Giblets is kind of on the wrong side of everything. Polite Gamer kind of zoning away from the team. And it's going to be a little bit hard. Shockwave lands, and the Blessed Shield going to be utilized. But the Black Hole lands over onto Northern Touch, so is going to throw out the counter engage. And the top side is currently dying. MDC was able to push that wave in, so the temple play is now finished by Gambit Gaming. They were able to get a little bit of bot lane pressure, but that's really it. Play Gamer taking so much damage. In fact, we'll just go down. Ball landing comes out for Sexy Vegan, but the Rain of Vengeance is going to come through as well. Christo self-heals with the Ancestor healing, but it doesn't matter. They had more than enough damage to finish off this fight, and unfortunately, the Cocoon was not able to come out in time. Now, Northern Touch is trying to pull everyone in. Delta Sniper able to deal so much damage to everyone. Look at the damage from the Shockwave. And is just able to kind of solo defend onto this fort. Should have a Shockwave coming through, but not going to be able to land it onto anyone. And this may be the end of this bot side fort. First brick is going to go over to Gambit Gaming. They're going to have the waves pushed out. And it's kind of sad for Magnitude Epicenter. Every single fort has taken a decent amount of beating from the side of Magnitude Epicenter. But that doesn't matter. What does matter is that Gambit Gaming is going to have the priority coming out from bot lane. They're going to have that push coming out. It's going to be so much harder for Magnitude Epicenter to approach that shrine. One thing they could attempt to do is kind of try and set up a little bit of a lane swap as a drag comes out from Linehouse, but both of them are at full HP. I don't think anyone's really in any danger of dying, but Linehouse takes a decent amount of damage. Will have to heal back up as the Bruiser Camp is going to be shoving in over in the spot lane as well. Delta Sniper gonna be able to walk away. The Hungering Arrow. 49 stacks, by the way. Can we talk about that? 49 stacks on Puncturing Arrow. That is insane for 10 minutes. The damage Pearl Simon is able to deal with those is really high. If he's able to get onto Delta Sniper, that's going to be basically a kill immediately. And now the third Dragon Knight does get secured by Linehouse for Gambit Gaming. And that's kind of the issue with this map. If you're able to get any one of the forts, you're going to be able to have very good, consistent Dragon Knights for yourself. But it's going to get cleared out quite quickly. And Sexy Vegan will be able to stack up the Thunderstrokes. That is one of the disadvantages of those piloted objectives. As McGill is taken down to around half HP. Will get healed up by Crizzle, so no permanent damage. As MDC is actually going to be able to take that top fort in the meanwhile. So fight is breaking out. McGiblets is stuck underneath the tower, but will get healed up with a chain healing. Now play game with the Blessed Shield going over top. Rain of Vengeance as well. But MDC is in the backline, able to get Crizzle inside the entombment. Northern Touch is stuck in the backside as well. One more auto, and no, the Ball Lightning will be able to get that final kill. Now the Riptire going to explode. Crizzle will heal themselves back up. Rain of Vengeance coming out from Pearl Simon. And look at that, the knockup. Perfectly buffered by Linehouse with the kick from the Dragon Knight. But, I mean, you gotta look at the map as to what happened. They were able to secure the objective. Oh, but it does look like they're able to get a little bit of pushed. And Pearl Simon taken out so low. And will be able to get away in time. What an amazing opportunity, as it is the Divine Reckoning coming out from Mac Daddio this time around. Not going to be the Scarlet Aegis. So I am a little bit surprised about the difference in ultimate. In fact, I don't think I even know what this ultimate does. 1 second, dealing damage and restores mana. Okay, so I see the advantage of that now. Per Simon able to deal so much DPS over on a Polite Gamer. Anyway, now that they're done fighting for a little bit, overall, I think that Dragon Knight actually benefited Magnitude Epicenter just a little bit more. They were able to get a little bit of a push coming through from Linehouse. They got the bot fort. They were able to get a little bit of DPS over towards mid, taking down the walls. But the top lane fort got removed by MDC during all of that. And they even lost a team member and lost most of their mid fort. It's literally 75 HP away. As you do see a Condemn coming through from Northern Touch. Also going to be able to use the Blessed Shield, but two very easy escapes coming out from MDC and Polite Gamer, both with those unstoppables available for them. Now the minions are going to get cleared out. Sexy Vegan and Delta Sniper in a single lane are very good at that. Polite Gamer is getting jumped on a little bit. There is the siege camp to fight for over on this bot side, and there's no tower for Epicenter to run towards. Now all five are going to group together as they're going to start fighting for the Shockwave over top. And the Condemn lands on a 4, and look at that, the Black Hole as well. They're going to be able to steal it away, but will they be able to take Northern Touchdown? It is going to be the Stolen for the 1 kill. But look, the Entomb lands on a 3, but MDC is the one that's going to go down for it. Linehouse able to deal so much pressure on the backside, and Linehouse taking out solo, just a couple more autos. One more Lightning Fury, and they do have the pull, but the Ancestral Healing comes out in time. And now the Riptire also going to take down Delta Sniper. And so the DPS is a little bit low. They do have the cleanse over on a Sexy Vegan. Sexy Vegan's starting to get pretty low. And that is going to be a 2-for-1 in favor of Gambit Gaming. And they do have a wave. They do have the Siege Camp pushing in this bot lane. The Impale isn't going to land from Polite Gamer. But Sexy Vegan is going to be trying to clear out this Siege Camp as fast as possible. MDC is back up. So no further play will come through. It's just going to be the camp stolen and the 2-for-1. But they are now just half a level away from that level 20. And with the shrines up, that could and should be a free shrine from them. Unless Magnitude Epicenter is able to get a very clutch pickoff or teamfight before those level 20s are hit. And now Polite Gamer just going to throw out the Impale, finish off the mid lane fort. And that is going to be a decent advantage for them, having 2 lanes now that have the natural priority. Now they are just kind of waiting and trying to delay so they cannot finish off this Dragon Knight. MDC is going to take that top shrine and just trying to buy time right now because they don't want to fight. Level 20 is super difficult to fight into. They have their Bruiser Camp, and that could be something Gambit Gaming could try and go for. Alternatively, they do still have that mid fort available. Now the Shock Ray is going to be used to clear out most of this wave. Not going to be able to clear out all of it. Delta Sniper does have little heals here. Level 19 still not hit from Magnitude Epicenter though, so it is something they do need to try and look towards. As the Bruiser Camp is dealing so much damage on this bot side, Delta Sniper is going to clear it out. And Blessed Shield also going to come through and able to get the Condemned. Mac Daddy actually gets burst down, and that's the DPS you expect out of a 70 stack puncturing arrow. Pearl Simon able to just deal so much burst damage over top. I want to see one of these Hungering Arrows land. There is the spell armor coming out from Polite Gamer, so it's not going to deal too much if it does land over onto that Anubarak. But onto anyone else, it's going to deal an absolute shocker's worth of damage. Now they're still trying to push out this bot side. Level 20s are almost hit, but it is a 4v5. There's no healer, and Pearl Simon gonna land the Hungering Arrow, but not going to be able to land the second one. Sexy Vegan has to back up and heal up. But they should be able to just bully out this bot side keep for it. Now Delta Sniper still trying to deal damage over top. Level 20s are now hit, and they will back away. Northern Touch kind of stuck, and they do have the Black Hole coming through. Giblets is going to get interrupted, so they're not going to be able to get the Riptire over onto anyone. Pearl Simon not going to get blocked in by the wall. And no follow-up here, but there is a little bit of a team fight or a little bit of a kerfuffle happening topside. Linehouse versus MDC as the Burrow comes through, just running away from MDC. Polite Gamer is walking through mid. They do see Northern Touch. And the Condemn lands onto 2, and Pearl Simon is able to get some damage. And Blessed Shield lands over top. And Rain of Vengeance as well. And Sexy Vegan just trying to run away. They do still have the healer. And now MDC trying to run through over at the top. Does have the Entomb, I believe. No, 16-second cooldown. So no Entomb is going to be coming out. Crizzle and Pearl Simon taking down Soul. But look at the DPS coming through. Those shock rays over top from Delta Sniper are dealing so much damage over top of everything. Entomb is back up right now, so MDC could look for the play. And now Pearl Simon is at around 1/4 HP. A little bit less even, but the poke from the grenades from McGiblets is going to end this teamfight for now. The Siege Camp is available. MDC is now walking back top, but does not have the health. Does have the fountain, though. So, as we do see a teamfight coming out, Black Hole is going to be landing. Crizzle just 1 HP, but will be alive. They will steal the camp, but what else can they get? Linehouse is on the backline. The drag will just barely miss. Lightning Fury just being used to keep them away, but Delta Sniper is now stuck. Will be able to get the Force Wall out in time. But everyone is low. Pearl Simon does have the vault. It does have the second vault. Gonna get hit. And Pearl Simon gonna get stunned. And that's gonna be a pickoff. A major pickoff for Magnitude Epicenter as they're able to take down the Vala. They will trade it for the Siege Camp. And that's been the theme of this entire game. Anyone gets a kill, the other team's able to trade something. Someone's able to get the Dragon Knight. Someone's able to get a fort. And it's just constant. Both these teams, their macro has been very clean. They will lose the bot keep. I do think someone should have stayed behind to protect it a little bit with this massive wave. But overall, still a victory for Magnitude Epicenter. I don't know if they're going to be able to secure the Dragon Knight. as Polite Gamer is going to look to secure this bot side fort. Just needs a couple more auto attacks. Will be okay. And the core is starting to take a lot of damage. Delta Sniper will be here to clear out the siege camp and the cannon minion. And MDC gonna be able to secure this shrine. But I don't know if they'll be able to get the Dragon Knight. They definitely don't have the pressure. The Vala is now respawning in about 2 seconds. The fight is happening over the top side. The drag lands onto MDC, and MDC is going to be able to land the Drain Touch. Will get cancelled out by Linehouse, but the DPS is still winning it. And then meanwhile, Northern Touch is also taking a lot of damage. But that's the power of McGiblets coming through right now. Able to keep them from channeling it. But Sexy Vegan will be able to finish it off. And honestly, I think Sexy Vegan is definitely who you want this on. Linehouse is going to get knocked up into the top side. As Zelda Sniper is running into Northern Touch. Shockwave gonna take him down. And look at the Entomb is going to land as well. It's a silence. It's a knock. A black hole over top. And that's going to be the tank remove for for Gambit Gaming. And Magnitude Epicenter have a pretty healthy Dragon Knight to shove in this mid lane. Level 20s have been hit. If they're able to get any kind of other team fight happening over top, this could be a push to win the game. Linehouse they do still have the front line through that. And Pearl Simon taking so much damage, but will get kicked away by Sexy Vegan. Now the Riptire going to land on 4. Does not have the reset ultimate though, so will not have a second one. But that is a lot of poke damage and a lot of mana that has to be committed by Mac Daddio to keep the team alive. And a Polite Gamer is starting to get very low as well. As the Dragon Knight is going to go down shortly. Linehouse going to get knocked back into the wall. Lightning Fury lands as well. Just barely not enough damage to take this keep. And it's just like that push onto the mid lane fort. They're still able to get a lot though. Getting rid of Northern Touch for a little bit. They don't have a lot of health, but it's so hard for them to face check anything. Linehouse can be tanky in a team fight scenario, but in a face check scenario, cannot walk in. Just not in the slightest. With the heals, with the health orbs, and the resets coming out from Delta Sniper, they will be able to reset, kind of rebuild their health and mana bars. And they do still have their Bruiser Camp available as well, if they want to try pushing in with that. They literally just need 1 or 2 hits onto this keep, and that'll be that. And they'll be able to have a pushing lane back in their favor. Right now, only one lane is pushing in naturally, and that is the bot wave for Gambit Gaming. Siege Giants have now respawned, but it is 5-on-5 on the map. Linehouse is over on the top side, but is able to burrow. But doesn't look like they want to contest onto this. They're going to be able to finish off this siege camp. It's not going to mean too much. It's just going to get cleared away in about 2 seconds once it does reach Gambit Gaming. Unless they're able to force a fight off this. And they're able to get the Entomb onto Northern Touch. And look at that. Look at the damage coming through. But the Ancestor Healing is going to be coming through. Linehouse is now stuck. Goes into stasis. The Concussive Mind will throw everybody away. And now the Riptire is coming through. Trying to land on the backside. And it's just going to throw MDC further in. Does try to use the Wraithwall, but look at the damage coming out from Pearl Simon. The 95 stacks on the puncturing arrow, able to just delete MDC off of the map. And now if you are going to lose one member of your team, you definitely do want it to be the Leoric. Does have the shorter respawn times. But that's still a massive team fight for Gambit Gaming. And now Northern Touch is just trying to poke away at everyone. Has used the blind onto the entire team. The shrines are now available. MDC still at 17 seconds until the reset. They are going to be able to get the Shockwave onto Northern Touch. And MDC just consistently able to get the slow and the heal coming through. Now they do have both shrines for Gambit Gaming, but the reset has come through. They're able to get the same play coming through with the Entomb. And the Black Hole onto Northern Touch is going to land, but after the healing is able to. And Sexy Vegan taking so much damage. And they're able to get the blind, just one more. And the Lightning Fury will land. The Vala is taking down Pearl Simon. There's no DPS. The Junkrat is inside the cocoon, and they're going to be ready for it. They're going to zone everyone away. And look at that impale immediately into the stun. And Linehouse trying to sneak away the Dragon Knight won't be able to. They do have the wall, goes into stasis, but I don't think Linehouse is long for this world. And will be able to burrow away. Look at that play. Linehouse. A little bit of a Chad maneuver over in this bot lane. But that is still a 2-for-0 in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. They're going to be able to get both these shrines. And it looks like Polite Gamer is going to be the one to collect this Dragon Knight. And that's just a massive teamfight victory. How much can they get with this? I think this mid lane keep, we can safely say, will go down. But It's still 25 seconds on the Junkrat. It's still 10 for Vala. Do they have enough time to try threatening the end of this game? And I think that's exactly what they might be doing. Sexy Vegan going to immediately use the Lightning Fury to blow up that that keep. And now the Dragon Knight is on the point. But unfortunately, they don't have any healing. And the drag onto their healer. But do they have the DPS? Because that's all this is. Are they going to be able to take down Magnitude Epicenter before they're able to take down the core? It's going to be close. The Dragon Knight is still alive, and I think they got it. Magnitude Epicenter win game number 3, and they lead the series 2-1. And we definitely have a series on our hands. I was saying at the start, if Magnitude Epicenter are able to beat Gambit Gaming, it would be a little bit of an upset. Gambit Gaming going into the playoffs almost doubled Magnitude Epicenter in points, but they're bringing the fight to them. They were constantly able to get those first early pickoffs in the early game. They falter a bit around mid game, and in game number 2, Gambit Gaming was able to utilize that faltering in order to lock in the win for themselves. But it's a very interesting stylistic approach from both these two teams, and I don't know if you give Delta Sniper the Tacitor again. Both games, number 1 DPS, this time by not quite as large a margin, but I mean, oh, we can't see the amount of stacks, but Pearl Simon was at over 100 stacks on that arrow. So being on that hungering arrow, so being able to out DPS that with the vault and the triple vault coming out from level 20 is absolutely insane. Now we are going to go to a short break now, but when we come back, we still have more HOTS action coming through, so don't go anywhere. All right, and we are back for game number 4 between Magnitude Epicenter and Gambit Gaming. It is 2-1 right now for Magnitude Epicenter, so if they're able to win this game, they are going to be able to complete this upset and move on to the semifinals. And remember, all the semifinals are going to be played over on the Nexus Gaming Series channel or the Nexus Gaming Series 2 channel, with a couple exceptions if a couple days are just overloaded with games scheduled onto the same day. However, that is going to become less and less likely as we do move through the playoffs. Now, going through the picks and bans, a change in bans. No more Stukov coming out from Gambit Gaming. They're going to ban the Anubarak instead. So we are going to see Polite Gamer on a different tank this time around. And now the Anduin and Stitches ban coming through from Magnitude Epicenter. We are on Alterac Pass, another one of those maps that's a very long objective to take. Oh, sorry, I lied. The Stukov ban will stay. Just going to be banned away on that second ban instead of the first ban. So, Gambit Gaming, I'll give you this one. I'll give you this point. You managed to fool me. But that does mean Blaze is available for MDC to lock in. And Blaze currently 2-0 in this series. 1 win for Gambit, 1 win for Magnitude Epicenter. So that's a very valuable pick. Joanna is still available if Gambit Gaming do want to pick that up. But they're going to go with the Sylvanas and Hogger instead. And I think it does make a lot of sense. The neutrals on this map are quite strong in terms of DPS. Sylvanas has a much easier time just being able to utilize those black arrows. So Sylvanas will be able to DPS them out and may even still have enough health and mana to get back into lane instead of having to hearth back like most other characters do, at least for the first two. But this time Polite Gamer is going to lock in the Joanna, so we're going to see both of the tanks playing something different. Granted, Joanna is still going to be in the game. Obviously, Sexy Vegan lock in the Cassia yet again. If it ain't broken, don't fix it. Sexy Vegan able to deal a lot of DPS. Not quite as much as Delta Sniper on that Tassadar, but still a severe amount of DPS coming out from Cassia, and it's very consistent damage too. And Gambit Gaming gonna ban out the white main as well, keeping Mac Daddio off of that pick. It was utilized to pretty good extent. Also 100% win rate. Both of those wins coming out from Magnitude Epicenter for this series. So we are looking at one final lock-in gonna be happening for the bans anyway. And I'm not even sure what they're gonna ban, and it is gonna be the Muradin, so perhaps that was Northern Touch's backup tank. We'll have to continue down the line. A lot of tanks have been already taken down. Joanna, Nubarak, Stitches, and Muradin. There's still the Garrosh, but it's kind of hard to play Garrosh into Joanna. Diablo might be the generic pick. Or maybe even the Mei, though I don't know how well the Mei does work with the rest of their lineup. And it is going to be the Diablo, so it is going to be the Rhaegar Diablo locked in 3-4. So they are going to have a DPS available for their last pick to kind of throw a curveball if they need to. So I do got to give pretty good credit for that. I think it's always smart to leave the last pick for something that lets you adjust the way your composition works. Every single character picked on Gambit Gaming so far is pretty standard. Sylvanas is a standard carry and could even be the single carry, as we see the Tassadar locked in yet again for Delta Sniper and a Kerosene for Mac Daddio. So the DPS is real coming out in this game for Magnitude Epicenter. And what did Gambit Gaming think is the pick for this? Last time they did go with that 3 bruiser composition, and they were able to win with it even into the Kerosene. Will they try to go with that again? It is possible. Sylvanas can solo DPS, and that is what they're going to do. They're going to lock in the Thrall. So once again, tank and double bruiser. Kerazine's still going to be able to deal a ton of DPS this game, even from that healer role. So gonna be interesting because once again, it's a clash of styles. And I do think if Linehouse goes the Sunder to try and interrupt Tassadar to try to deal with and stun Tassadar, could be a bit of a difficult play for Magnitude Epicenter, and I think I do favor Gambit Gaming's composition just that little bit more as we head into game number 4. All right, and we are into map number 4, Alterac Pass between Gambit Gaming and Magnitude Epicenter. Currently 2-1 in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. So if they win this map, they do move on to the semifinals. And Gambit Gaming will have to say goodbye to the NGS until next year. But either way, both these teams did manage to make playoffs, and that's a feat on its own. So regardless of who wins, who loses, these are the teams that have managed to advance into the top 8 and have managed to make it into these best of 5 rounds. And best of 5s are a very different beast compared to best of 3s. Were it a best of 3, Magnitude Epicenter would have already won, but like I said, it is not the best of 3, so we're still in a good position for all the Gambit Gaming fans in the chat. And now the mid wave is going to close in, but Magnitude Epicenter have already moved their offlaners, and they're doing a 1-2-2 lane assignment right now. Sexy Vegan and Polite Gamer are going to be taking down this mid wave, and MDC is going to be 1v2 with Pearl Simon and Lionhouse. And McGiblet's trying to zone away Delta Sniper and MacDaddio. It is a little bit difficult as we are seeing a 2v2 in the top side. Jet Propulsion not going to land, but the root is going to land from Lionhouse. The blind lands in time by Sexy Vegan and is actually able to kind of win this straight out. And now Polite Gamer is looking for the play. Pearl Simons gets blinded. Does MacDaddio have enough damage? 40 HP. Not going to have the DPS, but that's still going to force a reset out. That's still going to let them shove the wave in. Delta Sniper able to catch the wave in mid, so they lose nothing for it, and they're going to get just that little bit of damage over onto this gate. Nothing extreme, but the morale boost is there. And now MacDaddio and Sexy Vegan are going to be taking out their siege camp. McGiblet's already finished off the siege camp for Gambit Gaming. As Delta Sniper is just going to burst down this bot wave and gonna try and back away. Knows that there's a 1v2 situation, not one that they necessarily want to take part in. As Northern Touch is looking, able to get the Shadow Charge over onto Polite Gamer. Polite Gamer is trying to walk backwards. Gonna land the Condemn on a 3 and gonna have the slow as well. So overall going to be traded back pretty evenly, so well played for them. As McGiblets is going to be able to knock MacDaddio into the wall, and they're able to get the overpower to Polite Gamer. Polite Gamer is going to go down, and first blood going over to Gambit Gaming. And I think this is the first game they were able to get the first blood. Magnitude Epicenter have gotten those early kills in all 3 games so far, and Gambit Gaming have learned from their mistakes. Incidentally, looking at the talents, it is going to be that Charge Strikes level 1 talent. Once again from Cassia, looking more towards the auto attack build. So it's going to be a decent amount of DPS coming out from Sexy Vegan. And I think it does make sense when you're into the triple tank. The Mage Burst matters more if you're trying to jump onto the backline. And Pearl Simon going to take a lot of damage. The overpower lands onto MacDaddio. And the blind on a 2. Sexy Vegan just able to deal so much DPS over onto this backline, even with the auto attack build. Now this mid gate is or topside gate is almost taken down. The mid gate is already taken down in favor of Gambit Gaming. They were able to get that pretty solid team fight. Not really team fight win, but they were able to get the 1 pickoff, and they were able to get a lot, especially with the black arrows coming out from Pearl Simon. Now the siege camps are back up. McGiblet's going to already secure it, and they're on point, getting it directly off spawn, and having just those few seconds ahead. Eventually, they will be able to catch up and just get an XP advantage straight through that. The blind is landed over onto Northern Touch. No other opportunity for plays. I know they are going to get the Shadow Charge, but not going to be able to get the overpower. The Iron Skin does come out. So Polite Gamer will be okay. Now the Siege Camp is going to be coming through for Magnitude Epicenter here as well, as both their cannon towers are going to take so much damage. The Haunting Wave kind of take it down almost to no HP. Just one more hit on both of these cannon towers really is going to be able to take it down. Now I see a slight roam. Polite Gamer is roaming over to the top side, but Lionhouse is aware that that might be happening, so it's playing a little bit back. But now they are going to start into the camp, and this is very early. Rarely do you see people go for this objective this early on into the game. Both sides are on level 7, so the talent, no side has a talent advantage. But they do have the inner positioning right now for Magnitude Epicenter. There isn't 100 souls on Northern Touch either, but they are going to be able to land the dogs over on a 2, and now MacDaddio is just getting taken down, but will be able to dash away. Polite Gamer uses the Iron Skin, and they're able to get a lot of the channel. 22 seconds already, and they will be able to back away, and not losing a single life and getting a 22-second channel is very big if they eventually are able to close in on this objective. Because that's the beauty of it. Doesn't matter how much you get. There is no benefit if you don't end up securing it. And now Northern Touch is going to be getting poked down a little bit. Krizo is on the back line. And now the Iron Skin going to be utilized. They still have the Shadow Charge. No overpower left. And they're just once again going to try locking this in. The Haunting Wave is going to interrupt Magdadio. But that's the one spell they have. Oh, but they do have the dogs coming out from Linehouse. Linehouse is trying to go through with this. And now the fight comes through. Northern Touch is going to get burst down. Polite Gamer very low as well. But will be okay, and in fact will dodge out the Haunting Wave and is going to secure that camp. And McGibbon is taken out so low, but so is the Karazim. So it is going to be the 1-for-1 trade overall, but the cavalry has arrived. Magnitude Epicenter take that objective. They are behind on XP a little bit right now, but the waves are pushing into them. So there is a lot for them to pick up. MDC going to take a lot of poke from Pearl Simon. I'm not sure if they have the fountain available to them quite yet, as it does seem Sexy Vegan and Polite Gamer both already used theirs. And the healer has respawned now. Magdadio going to be running over to this mid lane soon enough, I presume, anyway. And look at the auto attack damage coming out from Sexy Vegan, especially with the with this cavalry camp, able to deal so much damage. And the blind just to help delay onto this push. They're already onto the mid wall. Gonna take a decent amount of this wall down, if not all of it. The Lightning Fury, even without the talent, is still quite strong. As the Shadow Charge does land on the Polite Gamer. But look at the ball lightning! Just absolutely blows up Northern Touch. And I don't even know what to say. Northern Touch on the Diablo looked like they were made of paper with no health at all. The Sunder splits the fight into two, and Sexy Vegan is gonna get rooted underneath the tower. The black hole is coming through! But so is the healing coming out in time to save Krizo. Well, Krizo saved themselves. But now look at the black arrows are going to be going through onto the back line. Sexy Vegan is going to go down. The Condemned lands on Big Giblets. And the dogs are going to root onto two Hog Wild. Not going to be able to follow through. There is still that little bit of a wall and the one cannon tower. It is going to get finished off now, but well fought by Gambit Gaming. That Sunder from Linehouse able to split the fight into two. And they're just going to be able to get so much DPS through with that. Now this top wall mostly taken down, mid wall gone, bot wall more than half gone. So overall good value, and even being able to take this camp that early is so big. Having that early cavalry spawn, it helped them regain that level advantage as they now look for the next spawn. And Eternally Blue, thank you for the raid. Welcome everyone. We are in game 4, Division A, Gambit Gaming versus Magnitude Epicenter. Match point currently in favor for Magnitude Epicenter, but this has been a very close series. Every single game has been like touch and go. Both sides really just able to end off of one good team fight. As we now see both sides are looking to fight the waves. Linehouse might have a good Sunder available, but Jet Propulsion lands onto 2. 9 to 3. I didn't even see Pearl Simon in the middle of all that. All the beefcakes out front. And now Northern Touch is just trying to create some distance. The Condemned going to land as well. And they've burst down Northern Touch before. And the 7-sided strike. Just look at the DPS and the black arrows as well. And once again, they're just able to absolutely blow up Northern Touch. So much damage coming out. And you can see the thought process and locking in the Karazim. Just having that max percent HP damage from the healer roll is so difficult to play against. And I'm sure they have... The Gambit Gaming hasn't really practiced into it because how many people do lock in the Karazim? So effective into the Diablo. And with that, they were able to get the kill. Northern Touch has respawned, but lost all their souls. So that's going to be a little bit of a max health bar that they're not going to have for this next team fight. Now, the camps have spawned. It is 40 seconds on this channel, so it's going to be a lot harder to actually finish it off. 13 onto both of these teams, so no talent advantage for anyone, but once again, the side of Magnitude Epicenter, they're not worried at all. They're just going to run in, clear away these little soldiers as Polite Gamer, trying to get the channel. Magdadio in a little bit of a bad spot, actually. I'm a little bit concerned with it. But look at the damage. And once again, Delta Sniper with the shock rays, just dealing so much DPS. It's so hard to play into this Tassadar. Northern Touch taken down very low, and look, the 7-sided strike, and once again they're able to blow them up. They're able to channel it back, and now the Sunder gonna split the fight into two, but unluckily for them, it's Polite Gamer on the right side. Black Hole into the wall, and they condemn to the Linehouse. Linehouse trying to survive, but look at that, the Horrible coming out from the back line. Giblets, how much are you able to do? Gets the stun out of Polite Gamer, but won't be able to get any kills. Now the Shock Ray over top is gonna come through, and they're able to get the Kerosene. Mac Daddio is gonna go down. Jet Propulsion lands on the tube. And it's going to be a 1-for-1 all day, but the dogs have landed on Delta Sniper. Linehouse not quite fast enough to get any final DPS onto Delta Sniper. Now, all of that for a 1-for-1 and a 4-second channel time for Magnitude Epicenter. They are going to be able to respawn a little bit earlier. The Diablo was the first to go. And with Delta Sniper over the wall, they're going to be able to kind of delay this longer. Lightning Fury as well, going to prevent the channel. And I bet Sexy Vegan wishes they went the Lightning Fury build here. Oh, as we do see, the Overpower does land, and Sexy Vegan will be able to dodge away, and the Lightning Breath going out over top, but not enough damage. And now the Condemn lands on the backside, and MTC able to get the Jet Propulsion on it too. Blessed Shield over top, and now Linehouse gets blown up. They're able to get two. And they're going to continue trying to chase down. Mick Giblet's just going to use the Hog Wild to get away, but just showing that this is a very well-practiced, well-oiled machine on Magnitude Epicenter. This combo is something they've been throwing out with perfection. And it's so hard to play against this. They've had so many strong combos coming out with that Anubrak in games 1 through 3, with that Leoric and Tomb. And doesn't matter what team comp you give them, Magnitude Epicenter, they're looking very clean and very well rehearsed. 15 seconds left on this channel time, and it doesn't look like Gambit Gaming are going to be defending this at all. They're just going to give this up, and that's going to be another objective going in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. And they're also about to hit level 16. Half a level remaining for Gambit Gaming to get that talent evened out. Pearl Simon going to be able to get a little bit back, just poking out on that top side. Going to get the top cannon tower and the wall. Play Gamer just going to walk in under the tower, but it is a little bit hard to walk under the towers in Alterac Pass, as it does lower the armor. Horrible going to be utilized, but no play coming through. Now the staggering blow was not available. There was no real event to do, but out of the 7th strike. And look at that, the black hole as well, but the Ancestral Healing does come out this time, but does it really matter? Sure, they didn't kill Northern Touch, but they got them so low. They're still going to have full priority here. And in the meanwhile, they're going to be able to get just so much damage onto this mid fort, and that's going to go down. They're able to get the cleanse. Pro Simon on the backline goes through, and now Delta Sniper just needs one more hit. Lightning Breath not going to land onto anyone. And the Shock Ray just barely didn't have the range. Sexy Vegan one more auto and will be able to get the kill onto Sylvanas. And they led them all the way up into this top fort where they have a full HP cavalry available. They could continue this push through top lane. Level 16 talents are hit by Gambit Gaming though, and were hit over at the start of that fight as well. But a 1-for-0 for Magnitude Epicenter. Their ultimates are going to be coming back in around 10 seconds. So if they delay long enough, they could start the fight. But Linehouse does have Sunder able to land the dogs, and is just going to get blinded. And the Shadow Charge going to land over into the back house, and the Horrible as well, just splitting the fight into two. Delta Sniper is alive. All the ultimates are coming back now, and the Black Hole going to land on everyone. 7-sided strike, and they're able to get all 3 members of Gambit Gaming down. And that was just Giblets trying to zone them away from the keep, but look how much value they're able to get, and Magnitude Epicenter just absolutely blew this game wide open. Look at this advantage. Almost 2 full levels in favor. They got all the forts. MDC still pushing as hard as the Blaze can after the nerfs. And on top of that, they're going to get the boss. Magnitude Epicenter has a commanding lead right now in this game in terms of map pressure. The minions are going to be doing so much work for them. Their forts are still healthy. No damage taken on any of them. They still have parts of their wall available in both the bot and their top lane. And now the boss camp is going to get finished off on the top side. And they're immediately going to run and try to take this bot side boss camp as well. And on the side of Gambit Gaming, you have to deal with this top boss. Your core is open. It does still have those 2 armor parts. So going to be difficult for the boss to solo finish it. And I believe at 14 minutes won't be able to just solo end the game. However, it's just kind of running all the way through. And this is one of those cores that is going to be able to heal. Another team fight is coming through. Blessed Shield lands on a 2. 7-sided strike on a Northern Touch. But they're going to be able to heal it out in time. And the silence coming through from the Sylvanas and the Lightning Breath over top. Bunker's going to come through just to delay the damage. And MDC is still alive, going to have the cleanse out. And they're able to get the Shadow Charge over onto McDaddy. Polite Gamer and MDC going to get taken down with a staggering blow. Now Polite Gamer is trying to run away, has the Iron Skin. They have the Black Arrow to disable it. So overall, good team fight victory for Magnitude Epicenter. Now this boss is just doing something, but not going to be able to end the game. With those 2 armor spots, is still going to be too much for them. Especially with the it only being a 14-minute boss. It's not the most powerful boss quite yet. So they're not going to be able to get anything else out of it. They're going to be able to defend the bot side boss. Level 20s are now hit by Magnitude Epicenter. However, the channel has already begun for Gambit Gaming. And this is going to be pretty interesting because it is still 6 seconds until the sniper comes out. So they're going to have the Tassadar. But it's going to be hard for them to engage. They do have the talent advantage. But they probably do want to wait for MDC. And I got to give credit to a person. That Wailing Arrow hit on all 5 members in that team fight. That silence prevented their entire combo from coming through. They're going to be able to get the point back. So it is going to be 27 seconds. And now Magnitude Epicenter are just immediately going to push back. So even if they were able to get that, that's not going to really accomplish anything for them. It might have been better spent going for the boss. And now the Unstoppable has been utilized over by the Sylvanas. But now Polite Gamer is on the back line. They're able to get the wall, but not too much happening quite yet. 7-sided strike on Northern Touch. A lot of the ultimates have been expended. They're able to get the pullback and the Sunder. Supposed to fight into 2, but it's still Polite Gamer in the front line. That's who you want. MDC gonna get blocked by the wall, so no one's going to go down. Level 20 is about to get hit by Gambit Gaming. So if they want to go for this camp, now's the time where they still have that little bit of an advantage. As MacDaddio is going to finish the channel. And I do expect another fight to break out. Level 20s are now hit the teleport. Taken by Northern Touch. We'll have it available. The Hortipult is going to be used. The staggering blow. Not going to be able to get too much. And now Pearl Simon is on the backside. Going to use the Haunting Wave to get away. But now Northern Touch is kind of alone on the front side. And Delta Sniper just throwing those shock rays over top. And once again, we see how potent shock ray is as an ability. Delta Sniper dealing a million bajillion damage onto everyone. But MDC has to reset. Is grabbing just the fountain. Has tapped. And is now joining the team fight once again. MDC trying to keep everyone away. McGiblet's kind of stuck in the wall. And look at the damage from the shocker. And the Hogwild does throw them closer into the fight. So this could be a fight. Blessed Shield lands on top. But the cleanse is in time. But the 7-sided strike is just too strong. The Sylvanas is trying to run away. But 2 are already taken down. The Diablo has already respawned. So we'll be able to run back into this fight. But it might not matter. Critzo is stuck on the wrong side of the wall trying to run away. Wolf form. How fast can you run? Not fast enough. And that's going to be another teamfight victory for Magnitude Epicenter. 2 are down. They're going to take the camp. 15 seconds until the cavalry does spawn. There's still two keeps up. So they may not be able to end with this. It is a very difficult map to end without getting multiple lanes shoved in. You want at least 2 keeps down before you go for that end. But they might have the time to do just that. So the cavalry will be spawning soon. There's still 35 seconds onto the healers. So GG Crizzo not going to be available at the start of this fight. All of their ultimates are up. If they're able to combo someone out without that ancestral healing, there's nothing they can do about it. Northern Touch will go down. The ancestral healing being timed by GG Crizzo is the only thing that's been keeping them alive. Once they were able to land those combos. And now they're going to be clearing out this mid-side camp, this mid-side wall. And now the cavalry is starting to arrive. So this is their moment. 4 seconds. It is going to be 5v5. Now GG Crizzo still a little bit behind. So if they want to go in, now is the time. But Lionhouse able to have the flag. Has a Sunder. Splits the fight into 2. But it's the 2 frontliners on the wrong side. And Lightning Breath coming out over top. They do have the bunker coming out. Lionhouse gets blown up in the backside. Black Hole lands as well. Now Northern Touch is slightly a bit too far up. Ancestral Healing is going to be utilized. But look at that shock ray coming out over the top. They're going to be able to take this mid keep. And the cavalry is still dealing damage over top. Northern Touch is going to get tanked up. Does have only around 1,000 HP. Pearl Simon also has to run away. And look at that. The core is taking damage. Can they defend it? They still have the numbers. And they're able to get the jet propulsion onto 2. But MDC is so low. Everyone is so low. But so is the core. The core is at 6,500 damage. MDC going to get overpowered back into the wall. And MDC will go down. So that's one less problem they have to deal with. MacDaddy going to get dodged away. Polite Gamer gets taken down. And they might have been able to secure it. Delta Sniper trying to end the game. Dudes, they're the DPS. No, they will not be able to end the game. The core is at 1,900, 800, 700 HP. It doesn't get any closer than this. But to the credit of Magnitude Epicenter, they do get all 3 keeps. The game will go on. Now, is there anything Gambit Gaming can get to kind of give themselves something back? The bot side boss is available. By the time they finish it, everyone on the side of Magnitude Epicenter will be back up. So they could try to go for the bot side boss into the top side boss play. However, their DPS is a bit slow. They do need to leave people behind to kind of push everything away. And I genuinely don't think this game could get more intense than the way it is now. Lionhouse, Northern Touch, they do have 3 onto this boss. 3 people are going to be respawning. The entire team is going to be available right now, coming out from Magnitude Epicenter. But this boss, it's not the same one that Magnitude Epicenter took. This is a 21-minute boss. It is possible to win with something like this if you have the right push going with it. And now the Bruiser camp, or sorry, the Siege camp is going to be taken down by Magnitude Epicenter. So it is going to get very safely taken down. And they have to deal with this boss. And it does look like they're going to go for the standard on this map. Going from bot camp to top camp. Going to get both bosses in their favor. And it does take a lot of time to take down the boss here. Already at half HP, but not going to be able to get too much more. We'll just be able to take down this wall. And might even be able to take damage to the keep. But they're not going to be able to come top in time. The top boss is also going to be removed. But it looks like what they are going to be doing instead is Mac Daddio is going to start the channel onto this. And we'll barely get in time. That one cage defender not going to be able to make it in time. And the question is, what are they going to do? Are they just going to ignore this boss? There is a lot for this boss to push through. They still even have a little bit of the wall. Look at that cannon tower go. We'll watch it for a little bit, but now, never mind. We have to focus up. The fight might be starting to break out. Look at that shock ray going over onto Giblets and Lionhouse. Both taking down to around half HP, and Lionhouse is going to get pulled back. And the Sunder is going to split the fight up in 2, but unfortunately, it's in their favor. Sexy Vegan is in the middle of everyone, but it doesn't matter. Teleport used defensively, but 2 are already taken down. Sexy Vegan is fighting onto Pearl Simon. Pearl Simon able to get someone out from the backline. So it is a 2-for-1, but that's still in favor of Magnitude Epicenter. The Lightning Breath is coming through over the top, and they're able to wall away Curl Simon, but Curl Simon goes in. You don't need to run. You need to run from me. Pearl Simon get hit with the shock ray, and now MDC is still on the backline. They do have the bunker available if they do want to run away. And this entire time, the boss is still pushing at around half HP, so won't be able to threaten onto that keep. But they're defending as 3. There is still the healer, and everyone is still available for Magnitude Epicenter. And if you thought I was lying when I said this series has been close so far, this is all the games you've missed have been like this. And now look at the shock ray is going to go over top, and luckily Crystal is still alive. Both sides have their front line and their healer. And in fact, due to the positioning, it might be in their favor. Jet Propulsion lands onto 2, and the Black Hole lands onto everyone, and they're able to get so much DPS. Pearl Simon is still alive with 300 HP, but the healer is gone. Northern Touch is going to follow, trying to heal up with those auto attacks, and is able to do so for a long time. But the shock ray over top will be able to get that final kill. But now Lionhouse and Giblets, can you defend here for a little while? The Sunder does come out, but they have already started the channel. 10 seconds. That's all they need to hold on to. The Hog Wild is going to come through in the backline. Now Big Giblets is kind of stuck. And now we're kind of seeing 2 fights happening on both sides. Hortible going to be able to get away from the backline. But now Lionhouse is stuck and will go down as well. And that's 3. Sorry, Northern Touch has respawned. Did have the souls. But that's 2 down right now for the side of Magnitude Epicenter. But now Northern Touch tries to use teleport away. But has a teleport stun coming through. Can they chase? Do they have any kind of slow? They do have the wall. And the 7-sided strike will be able to finish it off. And I think this is it. I think Magnitude Epicenter have won the game. Magnitude Epicenter will move to the semifinals as they finish off the score. And what an upset. 3-1 for Magnitude Epicenter. Well-deserved win. All right, for those of you that only joined us for Game 4, watch the rest of the series. That's all I can really say. What an insane game coming through from Magnitude Epicenter. They were able to just out-teamfight. And again, the Tassadar, top DPS, every single time it was picked. All 3 wins had Tassadar. Just an absolutely insane teamfight victory. I cannot believe this game. Massive credit to both teams because I think Gambit Gaming played extremely well this time around too, but it was just not enough. Both teams had a very good play. Unfortunately, we will have to say goodbye to Gambit Gaming as they are eliminated for this season. Magnitude Epicenter will go on to play in the semifinals and they land their top 4 spot. Now that will be all for the cast today. I don't think I'll be doing an interview here until I go over to the main channel. I will be streaming one more series, I believe, on this channel tomorrow will be Division E. And then the main event will be this Friday on the NGS channel, Heroic League. Fino and Yofi versus Mommy's Little Gamers. So be sure to check out the schedule. Be sure to watch all the playoffs on all the various channels. And now I will have to say goodbye to everyone. Thank you, eBagatron, for the 2 gifted subs. And have a good night, everyone. I don't know if you'll be able to fall asleep after that. I know I won't. But try and have a good night anyway. I'll see you all tomorrow.